Chapter 1225. At the same time, the crazy suggestions and complaint from customers had almost drowned all the major cinemas. Every day, countless customers strongly requested to increase the number of screenings of Dreamseeker. Manager, what should we do? I've already received hundreds of calls today, requesting to increase the number of screenings for Dreamseekers. The same conversation was taking place in the offices of the major cinema companies. However, due to the pressure from Xianxia's side, all the managers had reached a united front. In the face of the customers' requests, they insisted on not changing the screening rate and still tried to force the customers to watch I Only Like You. The consequence of this was, by the weekend of the fourth day, all the netizens' love for Dreamseekers, as well as their anger towards stupid movies and cinemas, had reached its peak. While the popularity of Dreamseeker soared, Xianxia's film was scolded by netizens. Liang Biqin, give me back my box office money. Before watching Dreamseeker, he didn't have such an intuitive feeling. After watching Dreamseeker, he realized that something that was shot in 10 days was not a movie at all. It was just a tool to make money. Liang Biqin's melodramatic comedy is completely vulgar in terms of aesthetics. It's not funny at all, and the audience is so embarrassed. Watching Dreamseeker was simply a spiritual cleansing. The trailer of I Only Like You gave off the feeling that we were a vulgar comedy. After watching it, I realized that it was not as good as the trailer. What a shitty movie. Is it not good to be alive? Why did you want to watch Liang Biqin's movie? What the hell? Why is the screening rate of Dreamseeker still so low? I wanted to book a ticket for Dreamseeker, but all I saw was Liang Biqin's retarded movie. There have been so many recommendations recently, and Dreamseekers is so popular. Why is the screening rate still so low? Are the people in charge of those cinemas blind? Is there anything you don't understand? It was obviously an under-the-table operation. Which one of those managers didn't get paid? Fuck. I don't know if I should say motherfucker. The stagnation of Huan Nation's film industry was caused by these people. Damn it. It's fine that you like to eat shit, but you're forcing us to eat shit as well. This was the Chinese film market. Get up. Those who didn't want to eat shit. Everyone protested together. No one should go to the cinema to watch that stupid movie. That's right. Boycott brainless movies. Retard movie. Get out of the film industry. Xianxia did everything he could to arrange the release date to be the same as a Dreamseeker. However, he never expected that in the end, not only would he not be able to squeeze a Dreamseeker to death, but he would also be caught in his own trap. Compared to a Dreamseeker, his own film was nothing good at all. The funniest thing was that Xianxia had spent so much money to hype up I Only Like You, and now it was all to pave the way for Dreamseeker. This was because, on the internet, as long as I Only Like You was mentioned, someone would definitely mention Dreamseeker as a comparison, causing the popularity of Dreamseeker to rise rapidly by stepping on the shoulders of I Only Like You on the weekend. I Only Like You, which was scheduled for prime time in the major cinemas, was deserted. There were only a few people in the huge screening hall. However, when it came to the unpopular morning and afternoon showings, the entire theater would come alive again. As long as it was in the hall where Dreamseekers was being shown, the attendance rate would be as high as 100%. The entire theater was filled to the brim, and it was even difficult to get tickets. Chapter 1226. In the theater, Zhou secretly looked at the packed theater. He looked at the audience in the theater, who burst into laughter and screams of excitement from time to time. His expression was a little ugly. The deputy general manager next to him also looked worried. Director Zhou, are you really not going to increase the screening rate for Dreamseekers? Recently, our complaint phone has been exploding with calls. There are more and more attacks and doubts about us on the internet. Most importantly, the attendance rate for Xianxia's movie is getting lower and lower. Especially today, it's the weekend. It should be the most crowded time, but the attendance rate is only 6%. More than half of our screenings have been given to Xianxia. We've suffered heavy losses. What's the situation at the other theaters? Zhou asked in a low voice. The situation at the other theaters is similar, but there's one exception. Huaying? Yes. The deputy general manager nodded. Xianxia smiled bitterly when he heard that. I heard that on the second day of Dream Seekers, Fangjiue increased its screening rate to 60%. Such boldness. This Fangjiue is indeed worthy of being called China's #1. The deputy general manager also looked envious. Huang must have made a killing these few days. The audience can't be seen in other theaters, but her theater has so many screenings, so they must have all gone there. Actually, I purposely went to one of Huaying's theaters in the city center to take a look. That popularity. The deputy general manager did not finish a sentence, but Zhou Zhihe could already imagine it. For the theater, the loss was not only in ticket money, but also in other incidental expenses brought about by the flow of customers. All of these added up was definitely not a small figure. At the same time, in a theater under Huaying in the capital, the entire theater was packed with people, and there was even a long queue. Because Huaying had given Dream Seekers the highest screening rate. Even in the middle of the night, all 6 theaters were open, and one of them was a super large theater that could accommodate 300 people. Even under such circumstances, some could not resist the enthusiasm of the customers. There were still many people who could not buy tickets and were asking for them at high prices online. There were even scalpers at that moment. In the theater, most people were there to watch Dream Seekers, and many of them were there for the second, third, or even fourth time. Everyone had a common topic and were chatting enthusiastically. I finally got the tickets. I'm so excited. I didn't expect Huaying to have so many screenings. You guys only found out now? Huaying screenings have always been very high. I've always been watching from Huaying, and I've already recommended many people to come over. We only came because we saw online people saying that Huaying has a high ranking. It's just that it's too far from my home, but it's worth it. I'd rather drive 2 hours to see my brother, than see Liang Biqin's pretentious face at the door. Wow, I like Brother Shi too. Have you added Brother Shi's Weibo account? Yes, I have. It's a pity that there are no pictures of Brother Shi in men's clothes on his Weibo, and he hasn't updated his status recently. What a pity. Everyone, work hard to raise the box office. When the time comes, we'll ask Brother Shi to give us men's clothing benefits. As Dream Seeker became more and more popular, the main leads in the movie also became famous, especially the female lead. Ning Shi's Weibo completely blew up. In the comments and private messages on Weibo, there were countless confessions and requests for Ning Shi to post photos of herself in men's clothes. Chapter 12:27 Peach Blossom Doc. Ning Shi was reading the comments under her Weibo. In just a few days after Dream Hunter was released, Ning Shi's Weibo fans had exceeded 20 million, and it was still increasing. The fans spontaneously began to call Ning Shi Brother Shi. Of course, most of them called her Honey and Prince Charming. If Brother Shi posts a picture in men's clothes, I will swallow 5 boxes of shampoo, copy the entire news broadcast, split durians with my bare hands, smash stones with my chest, knock bricks with my head, bungee jump without a rope, catch blades with my bare hands, eat peeled oranges, and copy Chinese dictionaries, idiom dictionaries, English-Chinese dictionaries. Tao Te Ching, 3-character classic of mountains, and seas, 300 Tang poems, and 500 song poems. I'm so confident. Ning Shi, you are suspected of theft. Recently, many girls have reported that you have stolen their hearts. Now you'll be punished as follows. You must take responsibility for your flirting. Otherwise, we will chase you to the ends of the earth. Honey, if you were uglier, I might want to go shopping with you, watch movies, eat Western food, take a walk, watch the stars and the moon, and talk about poetry and life philosophy with you. But you are so beautiful that I just want to sleep with you. What's the difference between a person who can't sleep with Brother Shi and a salted fish? Probably because Ning Shi's character in the film was so deeply rooted in people's hearts. Many people were even asking about Ning Shi's sexual orientation and wondering if she liked girls, looking at the overwhelming number of comments saying that they wanted to sleep with her, and they were all girls. Ning Shi felt that it was a wonderful feeling. Lu Tingxiao, who was standing by the side, had also seen the comments. He said with a cold expression, "Are girls nowadays so unreserved?" Looking at Lu Tingxiao's serious face, Xianxia laughed. It's just a way for people to express their love. For example, I'm the same to you, Xianxia said, leaned close to the man's ear and whispered, sleeping with you is better than 10 miles of spring breeze. Sleeping with 1,000 beauties is better than sleeping with 1,000 beauties. Sleeping with you is better than sleeping with 1,000 miles of rivers and mountains. The man narrowed his eyes, turned over, and pressed the girl under his body. You must take responsibility for your flirting. Damn it. The devil was imitating those fans' words. He was really putting what he had learned into practice. Xianxia said hurriedly, of course, no matter how much I flirt, I'll only be responsible for you. Besides, I like men. Don't tell me you don't know this. As soon as he finished speaking, the man forcefully kissed the girl's lips until the girl's lips were slightly red and swollen before he was slightly satisfied. He thought he was able to look at all of this calmly, but reality proved that no matter how many times it happened, even if they were girls, he still couldn't stand seeing them covet his wife. However, this last was getting more and more familiar with him, and she always had a way to resolve his frustrations. What he hated the most was having his emotions controlled by others. However, in front of her, he was willing to endure it and even enjoyed the feeling of being controlled by her. Xianxia thought of something and got up. Oh, right, Xianxia, wait for me. I'm going to change. Help me take a photo. Director Shun said that our total box office earnings are about to break 500 million, so he needs us to give some benefits to the fans. I thought about it. The photos in men's clothing are the most popular, so it should be the most suitable. Chapter 1228. Practice makes perfect. Xianxia changed her clothes very fast. Half an hour later, she had changed from a little white rabbit dressed in home clothes to a handsome and unrestrained Prince Charming who could seduce people to death. Xianxia chose a motorcycle outfit with messy short hair and a black Lu Ding leather motorcycle outfit. In the movie, there was a scene where the female lead rode a motorcycle to flirt with a girl. At that time, the male lead had already vaguely sensed that he had a strange feeling for the female lead. When he saw his good buddy flirting with a girl, he actually felt jealous. Thus, he struggled in various ways, thinking that he had fallen in love with a man. This was also one of the classic popular scenes in the movie that the fans loved to talk about. For this scene, Xianxia even brought out her precious Xiaohei, which she had spent a lot of money to assemble and maintain. Dear, is my outfit okay? Xianxia messed up her bangs slightly and asked Lu Tingxiao, who was sitting on the sofa. Lu Tingxiao's gaze swept over the girl. Yes, do you have a camera? She shook her head. No need to be so troublesome. Just use your phone to take a picture. You don't have to be too deliberate. Although it's a pose, it's still a picture of life. I'll do a set of scenes later. Watch and take the picture. Lu Tingxiao nodded and took out his phone to prepare to take a picture. Xianxia walked to the door, holding a handsome black helmet in one hand and pushed the door open with the other. After putting down the helmet, he opened the refrigerator door and took out a bottle of mineral water. After sitting down on the sofa, he seemed to have noticed that someone was filming him. While drinking, the young man suddenly raised his eyes toward the direction of the mobile phone's camera, and a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Click. This scene was fixed in the phone and in the man's eyes. Xianxia was about to continue when she saw the man suddenly walking towards her with his phone. She thought that Lu Tingxiao wanted to take a close-up shot, but the man was getting closer and closer. Wasn't this a little too close? In the next second, the man's arm was by her side, and he leaned over, his thin lips covering hers without warning. Her teeth were pried open, and then it was the wanton invasion of the city gate. The man's kiss was getting hotter and hotter. She blinked her eyes in confusion. Then, she panted slightly and pushed the man. Hey, cameraman, why aren't you professional? The man's gaze deepened, and his low voice rang in her ears. You seduced me. Xianxia was speechless. She raised her eyebrows and said, Fuck, what did I seduce you? The man's reply was an even more intense kiss, as if he was accusing her of seducing him again a second ago. Although the photographer was too unprofessional and easily distracted, taking a photo on and off for more than 2 hours, the photographer's professionalism was still very good. Just now, Xianxia saw that he just casually pressed the shutter, but found that every photo he took made her look handsome. She was about to turn gay from her own handsomeness. Sure enough, the Demon King was reliable, flirting with her and taking pictures at the same time. Xianxia was very satisfied. She saved all the photos and would use them when she needed them. That was a great shot. I'm so happy to have a boyfriend who can take pictures. Xianxia gave the devil a kiss. Then she thought of something and her eyes lit up. By the way, Lu Tingxiao, your role as Lin Yu is also very popular. Many fans have come to my Weibo to ask you about it. Do you want to start a Weibo or something? While I'm out, I'm eating while watching a chapter of PDA. I'll continue when I get back. Chapter 1229. No, Lu Tingxiao said directly. Why? Xianxia did not understand. Lu Tingxiao glanced at the girl. I only want to please you. Xianxia was stunned at first. Then she let out a cry, indicating that she had been shot in the heart. Fuck, I only want to please you? That's too against the rules. All right, she had subconsciously started a plan for Lu Tingxiao's career, but she had forgotten that this big boss was not acting for the sake of acting. If the entertainment industry was a game, Xianxia was a player who worked hard to kill monsters to level up, and Lu Tingxiao was a godlike existence like the game manager. The next day, the box office figures were released. The box office of Dream Seekers had steadily exceeded 500 million. I Only Like You was such a big production and publicity, and it was released 2 days earlier than Dream Seekers, but the box office was only slightly more than 500 million. Previously, after I Only Like You had exceeded 300 million, its growth had been very slow, and this was under the circumstance that Xianxia and the others had spent money behind the scenes to buy the box office. On the other hand, the box office of Dream Seekers was rising rapidly. These days, other than shadow cinema, the screening rate for Dream Seekers was still very low on the surface. But in reality, after seeing the popularity of Dream Seekers, many cinemas could not help but secretly increase the number of screenings. For example, changing the small hall to a large hall, or changing the silent audience to a primetime screening. On the surface, the screening rate was still the same, but in reality, the number of people watching the movie had increased significantly. At first, because of Xianxia, they had only used this method to secretly increase the number of screenings. But when they tasted the sweetness, when the figures for Dream Seeker were released in the morning, and when the news of Shadow Cinema's sales soaring from 8th place to 1st place was released, finally, all the cinemas could not sit still, especially Cinema of 10,000, which had previously been in 1st place. They were filled with regret. Fuck, just because of Xianxia, not only had they been scolded by the netizens, but they had also suffered heavy losses. Moreover, Shadow Cinema had taken advantage of the situation and suddenly surpassed them. It was a huge loss. This time, no matter how much money Xianxia tried to bribe him, Cui Zhihao could no longer listen. Director Zhang, you have seen the situation now. Because of you, I can no longer sit in my position as the general manager. No matter what, I have already done my best. Take a look at the comments online. It's not that I want to say this, but if the quality of your film was slightly better, it wouldn't have come to this. Not only did he ruin himself, but he also ruined the reputation of their cinema. How could Cui Zhihao not be angry? Xianxia also knew that the current situation was irreversible, so he could only go back with a black face. Over the past few days, he had tried his best to suppress the movie theaters and had hired a large number of internet water armies in an attempt to reverse public opinion. In the end, the more he tried to reverse the situation, the fiercer the netizens' backlash became. In the end, it even reached the point where anyone who spoke up for I Only Like You would be bombarded by everyone apart from the internet. Even the mainstream media had joined in. Almost all the front-page headlines were similar to this. Shun Mian, The King's Return, creates another legend. Might break the domestic box office record. The nation's daughter-in-law has become the nation's Prince Charming. Xianxia, an actress who combines both idol and strength. I take you behind the scenes of Dream Seeker, making a movie honestly. The crew of I Only Like You buys fake reviewers, and gets criticized by netizens. Chapter 12:30. The more they suppressed it, the more intense the backlash. The public had long been enraged by the current state of domestic movies, and this time, Xianxia felt the backlash from the entire population. On the same day, all the cinemas under House of Thousand Cinema increased the number of screenings for Dream Seeker to 50%. Following that, the other cinemas also began to increase the number of screenings for Dream Seeker. Some cinemas even increased the number of screenings to 60 to 70 in order to recoup their losses in the conference room of Huayin Company. Compared to the tense atmosphere from a few days ago, all the shareholders' faces were filled with smiles. On the big screen in the conference room, it showed that Huayin Company's sales had soared to the top. The conference room was filled with compliments for Feng Jiayue. President Feng is indeed experienced. Those of us who don't know the industry can't do it. Not bad, not bad, because we increased the number of screenings for Dream Seeker on the second day. Everyone is now praising us for being the industry's conscience. The small losses in the first 2 days are not worth mentioning at all. This time, we jumped to the top of the industry because of President Feng's decisiveness. I heard that the other cinemas are also busy increasing the number of screenings. It's already been more than a week. It's too late to make up for it now, President Feng is indeed farsighted. I actually doubted President Feng's decision before. There's still many things that I need to learn from you. Deputy General Manager Zhang Yong, who had hoped to replace Feng Jiayue this time, had a pained fake smile on his face. How could he have known that this low-budget production would explode to such an extent? How could he have known that 10 years later, Shen Mian would create another legend? On Ningxi's side, she received a call from Shen Mian early in the morning. Xiaoxi, the box office has exceeded 500 million, but don't post the photos yet. I've asked Xianxia to prepare the 500 million bonus. Leave yours for the finale. Post it when it exceeds 1 billion. 1 billion? Ning, she was a little confused. Why? You don't have confidence? Shen Mian's teasing voice came from the other end of the phone. Ning, she smiled and said, as long as we have Director Shen's words, it will be fine. In the staff area of Lu Corporation, in the pantry, a few girls were gathered together and complaining. Did you guys buy the tickets for Dream Seeker? No, our theater added a lot of screenings today, but they were all sold out in less than 2 hours. It's scary. I managed to get 2 tickets. 2 of my friends wanted to go with me, but they didn't manage to get one either. While they were talking, 2 people suddenly walked into the tea room. Brother Bear, Brother Xiao. Seeing the 2 personal bodyguards beside the CEO, the employees all greeted them politely. Without another word, Shi Xiao and Xiongji took out a bunch of movie tickets. They were all tickets for Dream Seekers. Everyone was a little confused. Take it and distribute it to everyone. I'll give it to you for free, Shi Xiao said with a face full of wealth. Let's know if it's not enough, Xiongji added. After the 2 of them left, everyone looked at each other in dismay. Then, they scrambled to get a seat and started discussing. What's going on? I don't know. Are they also crazy fans of Brother Shi? Do you think they like Brother Shi in women's clothes or Brother Shi in men's clothes? Cough, cough, cough. He must be in women's clothes, but it's possible that he's turned gay. Chapter 12:31. Ningxi's movie was getting more and more popular, and Shi Xiao and Xiongji were probably the happiest. Not only did they join the netizens who were seeking justice for Dream Seekers, but they also bought movie tickets out of their own pockets and invited the people around them to watch it for free. Moreover, they were VIP members of Ningxi's global fan club. How could they not be happy? The lady boss was getting more and more popular, and it wasn't long before they took office. Because all the cinemas had increased the screening rate under the pressure of the public, the screening rate of Dream Seekers was like a rocket that began to soar. 600 million, 700 million, 800 million, 900 million. On the 10th day, Dream Seekers broke through the 1 billion mark. On the other hand, I Only Like You was still stuck at 500 million, and the rating on Shering website was only 35. All the netizens cheered and celebrated spontaneously. This wasn't just a victory for one movie, but a victory for all of them. To put it more seriously, it could even be said to be a major event in the history of the Chinese film industry. In a high-end villa in the capital, Liang Biqin was crying in front of Su Yimo. "Cousin, that woman was really too sinister. She was clearly trying to force me to my death and use my head as a stepping stone to get to the top. If it weren't for her, my movie would definitely be a hit, but now everyone is scolding me. How am I going to survive in the industry in the future?" Su Yimo looked at the pile of magazines and newspapers beside her, which were all praising Ning Shi, and her face darkened. When they found out that Ning Shi's new movie was a low-budget one, they didn't pay much attention to it. Who knew that this movie would be so popular? "Cousin, this woman is very scheming. She wants to get rid of me first, and I'm afraid her next step will be to deal with you, cousin," Liang Biqin cried. Su Yimo sneered. "Then she has to have the ability to do so." Liang Biqin sensed that there was a show in her tone, and immediately said with a flattering expression, "What ability can she have?" "Cousin, you didn't do anything before. As long as you, cousin, take action, you can crush her with one finger. She's in the limelight now. If we go against her at this time, it'll be difficult for the company. Let's wait. What's more, $1 billion yuan box office for her movie is the highest it can go," Su Yimo said confidently. "Cousin, you're too virtuous. You're even thinking about the company." Liang Biqin mumbled, then started sucking up to her. "It's just a 1 billion yuan box office. Of course, it's nothing in your eyes. The highest box office of your movie has exceeded 8 billion yuan. That's twice as much as her." The outside world's judgment of Dream Seeker was basically the same as Su Yimo's. They believed that Dream Seeker would have limited room for growth after 1 billion yuan. Usually, the box office would grow the fastest in the first week. After that, it would almost stop rising. On the same day, Ning Shi followed her promise to Shin Mian and posted a set of photos of herself in men's clothing. Because Lu Tingxiao's photos were so good that almost every one of them was perfect, Ning Shi didn't want to waste any of them. So she directly collected 9 squares, which could be regarded as the welfare of her fans. Netizens have been complaining about Ning Shi's photos in men's clothes for several days. As soon as Ning Shi's Weibo post was sent out, it became a hot topic in just 2 hours and was forwarded over 100,000 times. This was simply the influence of an A-list big shot. Chapter 1232. After seeing this group of photos under Ning Shi's Weibo, the young girls who were eagerly waiting were going crazy. The screen is so dirty. Why is my screen so dirty? Lick, lick, lick. My husband's home photos are even sexier. He's so handsome that my legs turn to jelly. How could you seduce me like this in a photo? You little devil. Amidst the flattery, many netizens found a problem. Don't you feel that Brother Shi's photos are inexplicably sweet in love? Yes, 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 yes. I feel like I'm in love at first sight. The way elder brother Shi looks at me is like looking at a lover he loves deeply. His eyes make my whole body go numb. Oh, I envy the photographer who took photos of Brother Shi. I can be seduced by Brother Shi at such a close distance. Ning Shi looked at the comments under the Weibo and finally understood Lu Tingxiao's reaction when he took photos of her that day. Well, it seemed that it was wrong to say that the devil was unprofessional. Was it true that she seduced him? No, it was the great Demon King's fault for being too beautiful first. Ning Shi was thinking while touching her chin and reading the comments. Suddenly, her cell phone rang. It was Jiang Mai. "Hello, what's up? I can't call you if there's nothing, superstar." Jiang Mai's voice came from the other end of the phone. Ning Shi said faintly, "What? Are you jealous of me?" "Humph. It's still too early for me to be jealous of you." Jiang Mai said the same catchphrase again, but this time he sounded a little timid. "What on earth do you want from me?" Jiang Mai hesitated for a long time and then asked, "Who took those photos for you? Why do you ask this? Answer me first. Damn you. Who else could it be?" Ning Shi answered in a matter-of-fact tone. "Humph. I knew it. You can laugh like that. Jiangmai hung up the phone with a pa sound. Ningxi looked at the phone that had been hung up and was confused. What a lunatic. Did he call me just to ask me this? As soon as Jiangmai hung up the phone, Shinmian called. Xiaoxi, who took these photos for you? Unexpectedly, Shinmian asked the same question as Jiangmai. I asked a friend of mine to take it for me at home. Is there a problem? Ningxi asked. Shinmian immediately laughed and said, No problem, no problem. Your friend's photography skills are pretty good. This effect is too good. Then, she continued in an excited tone, Did you know that I just received news that in the 2 hours after you posted the photo, all the movie tickets were sold out? This time, it's very likely that we'll break the box office record for a domestic movie in a single day. Really? Ningxi only knew that the fans responded well to these photos, but she was surprised that the box office sales were so amazing. Shinmian smiled and explained, It's understandable that our box office sales are so high this time. You're catching both male and female fans in one fell swoop. How can the box office not be high? Okay. This explanation was really irrefutable. So this is also what I want to remind you. You can't be too partial to female fans. When you break the record, you have to prepare a group of photos in women's clothes, and it's better to ask your friend who is good at taking photos for you. Shinmian said, as if she was doing something for the benefit of the male fans. Ningxi chuckled and said, No problem. Chapter 1233. Coincidentally, the next day happened to be the national long holiday, and all the major cinemas gave Dream Seekers the highest screening rate. The holiday, the super high screening rate, and the promotional effect of Ningxi's Weibo post, the timing, location, and people were all working together. On the morning of the third day, the box office figures for Dream Seekers were released. 82 billion. In just one day, 24 hours, the box office had reached a terrifying figure of 800 million, breaking the record of the king of comedy, Pang Sun's Joy last year, which was 79.8 billion on its opening day. Currently, the total box office had already reached 1.8 billion. If this situation continued, not only would it break the box office record for a single day, but it would also break the record for the total box office. Just when everyone thought that 1 billion was almost the peak, such a blowout box office figure and such a terrifying momentum shocked all the media and people in the industry. At the same time, as Shinmian expected, there were waves of requests for Ningxi to dress up as a woman on Weibo. Although Ningxi dressed up as a man most of the time in the movie, the rarer something was, the more valuable it was. Not only did the few times she dressed up as a woman not go unnoticed, but it also left a deeper impression on the audience, especially by a large group of men. Many of the male audience's initial mentality was the same as Shun Hanshin and Chi Fong's. Because Ningxi acted so well, they completely forgot that she was a woman. Seeing that she was so popular with girls, especially those who had wives and girlfriends, and seeing their wives and girlfriends so infatuated with Ningxi, they couldn't help but feel upset. However, when they went to watch the movie together and saw the stunning female lead dressed up as a woman, they decisively became Ningxi's fanatical fans along with their wives. In the past, couples who were often jealous of each other's idols were unusually harmonious when they fell in love with the same idol at the same time, and their passion for idolizing their idols increased exponentially. Early in the morning, Ningxi's phone almost exploded with calls. They were all congratulatory messages, and, of course, Shinmian reminded her to prepare for the welfare benefits. Ningxi originally thought that even if she broke the record, it wouldn't be so fast. She didn't expect it to be broken after a day, so she hurriedly called the devil and made an appointment with him to help her take photos when he was done with work. In the afternoon, after Lu Tingxiao came over, Ningxi immediately bounced over and massaged his shoulders and back. Mr. Boss, the photos you took last time were amazing. Director Shin asked me to invite you to take them again this time. Lu Tingxiao glanced at her and asked, Are we going to shoot a cross-dressing shoot this time? Ningxi nodded. Yes. Boss, you're so smart. No. Lu Tingxiao directly said 2 words. Ningxi. The great demon king actually refused. Ning, she looked disappointed. Why? Lu Tingxiao, I can't help it. Hearing these words, Ning, she almost choked on her own saliva. It took her a long time to recover. She coughed and said, But you did a good job last time. Do you think that I can resist dressing as a man, but I can also resist dressing as a woman? Lu Tingxiao said expressionlessly. Don't overestimate my self-control. Ning Shi, seeing Lu Tingxiao's resolute refusal, Ning Shi felt a headache coming on. Was it really just because of this that this guy refused to film this time? Chapter 1234. The photo this time was quite important. Ning, she wanted to take the same quality and natural effect as the first time. She didn't want to hire a professional photographer who would look too deliberate, so she really didn't know who to look for a moment. Just as she was worrying, an idea suddenly flashed in her mind. I got it. Humph, he wasn't the only reliable man in the family. Xiaobao is almost out of school. I'll go pick him up. Ning, she said happily. She decided to ask Xiaobao to help her take the photo this time. Things were different now. Since Ning, she became famous overnight, it was definitely not as convenient to go out as before. In the past, she often went out dressed as a man for convenience, but now it was safer to dress as a woman than a man. Fortunately, she had registered her parents' name as Tang Shi with the teacher. The reason for her appearance was that she looked like a big star. However, to be safe, Ning, she still didn't get out of the car. Lu Tingxiao went out to pick up Xiaobao. Although it was Papa who came to pick him up from school today, Xiaobao was very calm. Outside the car window, Ning, she saw the little fellow carrying a small school bag on his shoulder. Lu Tingxiao was holding his little hand, and he expressionlessly walked in the direction of the car with an iceberg face that was exactly the same as Lu Tingxiao's. The conversation between the father and son also made people very speechless. Lu Tingxiao, what did the teacher teach at school today? Xiaobao, I don't know. Lu Tingxiao, how did you get along with your classmates? Did you chat with them? Xiaobao, I was bored. Lu Tingxiao, how did you do in the quiz this time? Xiaobao, not bad. The father and son had a speechless conversation as they walked to the car. Lu Tingxiao stepped forward and opened the door of the back seat. Then, outside the door, Xiaobao was suddenly stunned. Mommy! The little fellow's expressionless face suddenly showed a soft and cute expression. He softly called out, Mommy, and happily climbed into the car and threw himself into Mommy's arms. Xiaobao! Ning, she hugged the little fellow and kissed him on his soft little face. Mommy, are you here to pick me up? The little fellow's eyes were as bright as stars in the sky. Yes, but I didn't get out of the car because I was afraid of being recognized. Xiaobao, don't be mad at me. The little guy immediately shook his head vigorously. Xiaobao will never be angry with Mommy. Xiaobao is already very happy to be able to see Mommy. Lu Tingxiao was already used to his son's completely different expression when he saw Ning Shi. The car started to move slowly. Ning Shi was so touched that she immediately kissed the little guy again. Then, she hugged Xiaobao and chatted, Baby, what did the teacher teach you today? Mom, the teacher taught us arithmetic, drawing, and nursery rhymes. Are you getting along well with your classmates? Did you talk to your friends in class? Mommy, Xiaobao did. Xiaobao listened to Mommy and chatted with the children. Good boy. Xiaobaozi, who was praised, looked very happy. Then he turned his head, took out a test paper from his school bag, and unfolded it in front of Ning Shi. Mom, Xiaobao got 100 points. Ning Shi looked at the bright red, full marks on the test paper and was even happier. My Xiaobao is the best. She knew that Xiaobao didn't like to waste time on boring things, but he did a kindergarten-level test paper and got 100 points. It was obvious that he did it to make her happy. When she thought of this, her heart melted into a mess. Chapter 1235. In the driver's seat, Lu Tingxiao helplessly looked at his well-behaved and sweet-talking son in the rearview mirror. If he hadn't done the paternity test several times, he would have doubted whether this little guy was his own son. On the contrary, this little fellow and Ning, she seemed to be even closer than mother and son. Lu Tingxiao stared at the mother and son in a daze. Not only were the two of them getting along very well, even their small gestures and expressions were somewhat similar. Especially when they smiled, the corners of their eyes and the tips of their eyebrows were extremely similar. If Xiao Bao was really Ningxi's son, just as he thought of this, Lu Tingxiao shook his head with a sigh and got rid of this whimsical idea. Peach Blossom Cove. After arriving at the villa, Ningxi told Xiao Baozi that she wanted to ask him to take photos of her. Xiao Baozi immediately agreed and said that he was very happy to be able to help his mama. Ningxi was thinking about the style to be taken this time when Lin Jiji called. Director Shin asked you to show the photos in women's clothes, right? Have you chosen the clothes? Lin Jiji asked. Well, not yet. I was just worrying about it. Do you have sponsors? Ningxi asked. Yes, there are quite a few. But I suggest you wear your own brand, Lin Jiji suggested. Sister Jiji, you mean Zealing? Oh, right. Why didn't I think of that? Ningxi was pleasantly surprised. The past few days had been full of ups and downs, and she was a bit confused. She really didn't think of wearing Zealing's clothes to take photos. She had reported to Lin Jiji that she had founded Zealing, so Lin Jiji had always known about it and supported it. It was her own brand and matched her temperament very well. It was indeed a good fit. The most important thing for you now is not the sponsorship money. After Zealing becomes popular, it will be very good for your future development. Lin Jiji analyzed. Yes, but what series should I choose? A ready-to-wear series. A ready-to-wear series. Ningxi thought that Lin Jiji would ask her to wear haute couture. You became popular this time because of the support of thousands of people. You have a broad mass base. It's much better to be down to earth than to suddenly develop in a high-end direction. Most of your fans are ordinary young people. Although ready-made clothes aren't cheap, most working people can afford one. From this point of view, a ready-to-wear line that was slightly more affordable was indeed much better than a luxurious and expensive custom-made line. Gao Ding could have waited for her strength to stabilize before he promoted her. Thinking of this, Ningxi immediately said, Okay, I got it. Thank you, big sis Jiji. I'll send it to you when it's done. There were ready-made clothes for Zhe Ling at home. So she directly chose 9 sets from the wardrobe. She changed into the first floral dress and walked out. Xiao Bao, can we start now? Xiao Bao nodded with a serious expression. Then he raised the phone with one hand and gestured something in the air with the other. She couldn't help laughing. Was this some special way of taking photos? But forget it, as long as Xiao Bao is happy. Soon, all 9 sets of clothes were taken. She looked through the photos one by one, and the more she looked, the more surprised she became. Even though she wasn't a professional, she could tell that compared to the casual and languid photos that Lu Tingxiao had taken for her, the composition of each photo that Xiao Bao had taken for her was precise to the golden point, so that each photo looked like an oil painting or a blockbuster. It seemed that the little guy had applied all the composition skills he had learned in painting to taking photos. Chapter 1236. The more she looked at it, the more she liked it. She said excitedly, Baby, how can you be so talented? Mommy looks so good in this photo. Little Baozi looked up at Mama and said seriously, It's because Mommy looks good. She covered her chest to show that she had been shot by an arrow. Oh my. Even before Xiao Bao could speak, she had already been overwhelmed by his cuteness. Now that this little fellow had learned to speak, his mouth was so sweet that she couldn't resist him at all. Even if he wanted the stars in the sky, she would probably climb up and pluck them for him. Before posting on Weibo, she sent the photos to Lin Jiji and Shun Mian. While waiting for their replies, she saw Lu Tingxiao looking at his cell phone from the corner of her eye. She found that Lu Tingxiao was looking at her photo, and it was taken just now like a ghost. She stuck her head out from behind and snorted. Lu Tingxiao, I found you. How dare you take photos of me? Didn't you say you didn't want to take photos? Why are you taking photos? Let me see. She wouldn't allow Lu Tingxiao to have ugly photos of her in his cell phone. Lu Tingxiao didn't avoid her and let her snatch his cell phone. She immediately took the cell phone and looked through it. The more she looked, The redder her face became. Finally, she glared at the man on the sofa. Pervert! Lu Tingxiao raised his eyebrows. He seemed to be in a good mood after being scolded. There was a teasing smile in his eyes. Looking at his innocent expression, Ning, she was even angrier. My ass. They were all the same photos, but when taken by different people, they gave off completely different feelings. Xiao Bao had taken a picture of her in such a lofty and intimate manner. However, in Lu Tingxiao's photo, her entire body was filled with a seductive aura. Even a casual gaze from him seemed to be seducing him, causing her old face to turn red. It really proved that what you see in your heart is what you see. However, in all fairness, Lu Tingxiao's photos were indeed more attractive to the fans. Just as Ning, she was making calculations in her mind, Lu Tingxiao's slender fingers grabbed the cell phone. Obviously, he had seen through her plan. Ning, she puffed her cheeks. Stingy. She finally understood why Lu Tingxiao didn't want to take pictures of her. This guy was 100 times more seductive when he took pictures of her cross-dressing than when he took pictures of her cross-dressing. Forget it if you don't want to give it to me. My son is even better. Little Steamed Bun nodded his head in agreement. At this time, Lin Zhizhi and Shen Mian replied one after another. Both of them were full of praise for the photos. Xiaoxi, this group is also very good, although it's a completely different style. Your friend's style is quite unpredictable. Shen Mian said on the other end of the phone. Cough, yes. One was the father and the other was the son. How could their styles not be different? After the two reviewed the photos, Ning, she posted them on Weibo. After that, Ning, she remembered that she still had something to tell the company. So she called Han Momo. Momo, Brother Shi. Brother Shi, you actually called me. Before Ning, she finished her words, Han Momo's scream came from the other end of the phone. It was so excited that it almost broke her eardrum. Chapter 1237. Looking at Han Momo's excited reaction, Ning, she was speechless. Honey, why are you so excited? It's not like you can't see me in person. But I've never seen you in men's clothes before. Boss, you look so handsome in men's clothes. Can you give me some employee benefits? I really want to see you in men's clothes. Forget it. Ning, she chuckled. Why not? Han Momo was disappointed. Ning, she chuckled. I'm afraid you'll regret it for the rest of your life. Han Momo couldn't stand it anymore. Brother Shi, don't talk to me like that. My heart can't stand it. Oh my God. If your crazy fans know I'm talking to you on the phone and that I'm your employee, they will envy me to death. Well, I won't tease you anymore. Let's get down to business. Momo, tell the factory to get ready. We may increase the production of ready-made clothes at any time. The sales may increase recently. Ning, she urged. Why? Check my latest Weibo. Oh, I'll do it right away. Han Momo said and opened Weibo. After a while, Han Momo screamed even more excitedly than before. Boss, you're too modest. It's more than a lot. I guess the warehouse will explode. These are just ordinary ready-made clothes, and the price is not high. Why is it that when they are worn by you, the effect is the same as the high-end custom-made clothes from luxury brands that cost millions each? There are already a lot of people asking about it. Han Momo said excitedly while typing to reply to some fans' questions on Weibo. Brother Ao, she's so beautiful. I thought I was only a fan of Brother She's men's clothes. Now I'm really gay. In these photos, Brother She is so gentle. I feel like I'm cured. P.S. Please ask the brand of Brother She's clothes. I like his style so much. I like it too, but it's expensive. It costs at least tens of millions. I guess it's a limited edition. We can't afford it. Han Momo quickly typed, I know. The clothes that Brother She was wearing were from a brand called Zealing, and they were not that expensive at all. They could be bought for a few thousand yuan. Zealing's custom-made clothes were indeed very expensive, but these were just ordinary ready-made clothes, so they were not that difficult to buy. They were sold in Zealing's specialized stores. At present, there were 6 Zealing's specialized stores in the capital, and their addresses were. City Q's specialized store's address was. For more information, you can log on to Zealing's official website. Soon, Han Momo's detailed answer was liked by enthusiastic netizens and became a hot topic. There have been some photos of Xianxia in women's clothes in her Weibo, but different from those female stars who often posted photos on their Weibo, most of Xiaxia's Weibo were stills or playful photos. She rarely showed herself, and there was no selfie. Among the female stars, she was a weirdo. Therefore, this time, he sent out 9 photos in a row, which was a feast for the eyes of the fans. The feeling of being a Prince Charming in one Weibo post and a goddess in the next was simply too magical. Be it male or female fans, they were all amazed by it. In addition to being amazed, many of Xiaxia's male fans also asked about the clothes, saying that they would also buy them for their wives and girlfriends. The promotional effect on Xiaxia was better than Xianxia had imagined. As for the box office, it would depend on the next few days. Chapter 1238. Currently, only half of the screening time for Dream Seekers had passed, and the total box office had already exceeded 1.8 billion yuan. Therefore, no one dared to predict how the box office would go in the future. Usually, the length of a movie screening was based on the box office of the movie. If it was too bad, it would basically be a 3-day trip to the cinema, and there were even many movies that would stop screening after 1 day. For example, Ning Shuiluo's recently unpopular literary film, The Mountain, had a pitifully low box office and a bad reputation. Originally, it was planned to last at least half a month before stopping screening, but in the end, even for the sake of Starlight Entertainment, it did not last 3 days. During this period, all the cinemas were trying their best to make space for Dream Seekers. How could they be willing to waste space on a movie that did not have a high attendance rate? At this time, it did not matter how many cards they had, the box office was the most important. And with the popularity of Dream Seekers, it would take at least a month for it to be screened. In the early stages, the box office of Dream Seekers was mainly due to the quality of the movie itself and the exciting performances of the lead actors. Towards the end, the power of the director, Shen Mian, began to show. Back then, Shen Mian's first film, Stars, Moon, Sun, was popular all over the country and was named Asian Star by American Business Weekly. The main character in the film was extremely popular and was now a big sister and a big brother in the entertainment industry. After that, the youth-themed film Love in the Future won the box office that year and led to a large number of youth movies and trends. It was precisely because Shen Mian's starting point was so high that the audience's expectations of him were also very high. This caused him to be criticized for compromising with the investors and the market. The media had always been one to step on the high and praise the low. After Shen Mian made another glorious achievement, almost all the print and online media were praising Shen Mian, saying that they owed Shen Mian a movie ticket. The big brothers and sisters in the entertainment industry who had been made famous by Shen Mian also spontaneously helped to promote the movie. 10 years ago, a large number of Shen Mian's fans also walked into the cinema for Shen Mian. Even if Zheng Kondo was hopping mad, he could only watch helplessly. The trend was irreversible. A month later, the total box office of Dream Seekers was out, 327.5 billion. It broke the record of 24.8 billion box office of Happiness, firmly taking the throne of the box office in the history of the Chinese film industry, creating a miracle in the history of the Chinese film industry. In the movie, everyone from the leading actors to the supporting actors became popular, especially the leading actress, Xianxia, and the leading actor, Xianxia. They became famous overnight and suddenly squeezed into the ranks of A-list actors. Xiaxia's film contracts, endorsements, variety shows, all rushed to Lin Ziji's case. The company of the game that Xianxia and Xianxia had endorsed together was overjoyed. They had spent 1 million yuan to hire Xianxia to endorse for 5 years. Now, they had made a huge profit. Of course, some people were happy, while others were worried. Starlight Entertainment. Chong Li came to the company as usual, but all the colleagues looked at her strangely and whispered to each other. Have you heard? The box office of Xiaxia's movie has exceeded 3 billion. It's definitely the Chinese box office champion. It has broken more than 20 records. Nonsense. How could she not have heard of such a big thing? I saw someone posting in the group early in the morning. Everyone said, Chong Li is probably regretting it so much that her intestines will turn green. Pfft. That's right. I forced Ning Shi to leave for Ning Shui Luo. But Ning Shi became famous when she went a golden era. Chapter 1239. Recently, with the success of Dream Seekers, Ning Shi's popularity had soared and Lin Jiji had returned to her peak as a top manager. Chong Li, on the other hand, had been ridiculed for having poor taste. All of this had made her so anxious that she almost went crazy. If Ning Shi was still her artist, if she had not kicked her out of Starlight, all the glory would have been hers now. She would have been the one being envied and admired. Her career would have taken a big step forward, and most importantly, she would have had such a big money tree. But now, she could only watch as everything that should have belonged to her fell into Lin Jiji's hands, and she had personally given it to her. The most ironic thing was that, in order to win an award, Ning Xiulaw had made up her mind to shoot some cold-blooded art film. In the end, the box office was terrible, and the reputation of the film was not good either. She had lost all her face, and now she had to bear the wrath of that rich Missy. Ning Xiulaw looked at Chong Li, who was silent. Her eyes were filled with malice and mockery. She stroked her nails and sneered. How is it, seeing how popular Ning Shi is now? Do you regret it? Regret terminating the contract with Ning Shi? In this online war, Ning Xiulaw had put in a lot of effort. She had been secretly helping Liang Biqin to buy fake reviewers to suppress Dream Seekers. After her manipulation failed, she had tried to make the mountain imitate the way Dream Seekers had become popular. Who knew that it would fail so badly that even its own mother would not recognize it? What she hated the most was that the bitches movie not only trampled on her, but also helped Zailing to do publicity, which affected history. It was obvious that she was deliberately going against her. Hearing Ning Xiulaw's words, Chong Li could not admit it even if she thought so. She forced herself to reply, Xiulaw, look at what you're saying. How can I be so short-sighted? There are many people who become famous overnight in the entertainment industry, but how many of them can really go far? She's just feeling proud for a moment. It's just a melodramatic comedy. So what if the box office is high? When our film wins an award, it will still slap her in the face. However, the reality was that although their film was made by a famous director, the industry's reviews were not good. If they want to get a real award, it would be very difficult. It all depended on whether Ning Xiulaw had enough connections and whether she could get through to the judges. Perhaps Ning Xiulaw was satisfied with Chong Li's answer. She did not say anything for the time being. She snorted and said, Go ahead. The higher she climbs, the faster she will die. Chong Li rolled her eyes. She knew that Ning Xiulaw was referring to Su Yimo. She would definitely make a move. This Ning, she was really strange. She was suppressed by Su Yimo and Liang Biqin, but she was still able to stand out. It was said that Liang Biqin deliberately stole I Only Like You last time. So Ning, she could only take Shenmian's small production. Who would have thought that this small production would be so popular? Isn't this woman's luck a little too good? However, with Su Yimo's backing, it would be easier than killing an ant if they really wanted to mess with her. It didn't matter how famous she was. Ning Shi's good days were coming to an end at the same time at Xianxia Entertainment. Ning, she was wearing a new gown that had not been released yet. She was wearing sunglasses, and Xiao Tao was by her side. As soon as they stepped into the company, they caused a commotion. Chapter 1240. Seeing her, the staff members who used to ignore her all came up to her. The newcomers who were training also flocked to her after hearing the news, complimenting her in all sorts of ways. Ah, Brother Shi, can I have your autograph? I'm a fan of yours. Senior, you're amazing. I don't know when I'll be like you. Sister Shi, you haven't been to the company for a long time. I didn't expect to see you today. Fortunately, I didn't change shifts. Can I take a picture with you? Not only Ning Shi, but even Xiao Tao was surrounded by a lot of people. Previously, she was Lung Manyun's assistant. Later, she was exiled to Ningxi's side. Many people gloated over her misfortune, but now the way they looked at her had obviously changed. Xiao Tao, you're so lucky. You followed Sister Manyan, and now Ningxi is so popular. That's right. You were right to follow Sister Lin and listen to her arrangements. Sister Lin has such good taste. Don't forget us sisters when you become rich. After being delayed outside for a while, Ningxi and Xiao Tao finally got rid of those people and went to Lin Jiji's office. Humph, they're all a bunch of people who step on the powerful and flatter the weak. Let's see if they dare to look down on us in the future. Xiao Tao said with a proud expression as she poured water for Ningxi. Lin Jiji didn't need Xiao Tao to say it. Lin Jiji had guessed what might have happened outside just now. She looked indifferent and didn't say anything. She handed a dense itinerary to Ningxi, saying, "This is your approximate itinerary for the next month. We will adjust it later." Then she handed a few documents over. This is the specific information of some recent announcements. Take a look. As for the new film, there are a lot of scripts, but you need to choose carefully. There's no rush for now. Sister Jiji, you've worked hard. Looking at the heavy dark circles under Lin Jiji's eyes, Ningxi took the documents gratefully. She saw that the top one was related to Beauty's private restaurant. Ningxi glanced at it. Oh, the director invited me and Xianxia on the show. Lin Jiji nodded. Yes, I've thought about it. This show is very suitable for you. I think the audience would like to see you and Xianxia together. Well, Ningxi scratched her head, put her palms together, and looked at Lin Jiji. Sister Jiji, I have a presumptuous request. What's wrong? Lin Jiji asked. Can we invite Kum Mingyu as the male guest of this show? Ningxi pleaded. Lin Jiji was a little surprised to hear this, and then looked at her thoughtfully. Ningxi coughed dryly. Please don't misunderstand, Sister Jiji. I just want to help Kum Mingyu because I owe him a favor. Besides, he's also an artist of Golden Age now. It's not a bad idea to help him, right? Lu Tingxiao had assigned the identity of Kum Mingyu to an ordinary agent in Xianxia Entertainment. Lin Jiji thought for a while. Actually, Kum Mingyu is quite popular with the fans because he keeps a low profile. It's fine to invite him. Just like you said, he's also an artist of the same company. However, the director is more interested in Xianxia's popularity. I'm afraid it won't be easy to convince him. Ningxi immediately patted her chest. That's easy. I can tell the director that as long as they agree to invite Kum Mingyu as the male guest, I can wear men's clothes on the show. Chapter 1241. Recently, countless production teams had invited Ningxi to wear men's clothes on their shows. However, Ningxi and Lin Jiji both thought that spending too much on men's clothes would make her image stereotyped, which would be detrimental to her long-term development. Thus, there were only 2 shows that had agreed to let her appear in men's clothes. Seeing Ningxi's insistence, Lin Jiji respected her opinion and contacted the TV station. On the other side of the phone, director Wang Xiaoyuan was put in a difficult position when he heard that Lin Jiji hoped to invite Kum Mingyu as the male guest. He had a great time working with Ningxi last time, so he had already arranged for her to appear on the show again. Now that Ningxi was famous, there were countless programs that invited her. He was originally worried that he wouldn't be able to get a slot, but he didn't expect that the other side would arrange a slot for him. What surprised him even more was that he tried to invite Xianxia, and Xianxia actually agreed. How could he not be happy to invite this pair of popular on-screen couple? But now, Ningxi had appointed Kum Mingyu as the male guest. Compared to Xianxia, Kum Mingyu's popularity naturally couldn't be compared. Can I talk to Miss Ning directly? Wang Xiaoyuan asked. Lin Jiji handed the phone to Ningxi. Ningxi took the phone and said, Director Wang, hello. Hello, Miss Ning. I heard that you want Kum Mingyu as the male guest? Yes. Ningxi nodded and said, I remember Director Wang promised me that if I'm willing to appear on the show again, I can choose the male guest myself. When Wang Xiaoyuan heard that, he instantly felt a little awkward. Cough, I did promise you. But Miss Ning, if the male guest this time is Xianxia, it'll be a win-win situation for both of us. I can guarantee that the viewership ratings will definitely explode. So, I think it's better not to change him. I did put in a lot of effort to invite Xianxia this time. If I suddenly change him, I won't be able to explain it to Xianxia, right? From what Wang Xiaoyuan said, it seemed that he was going to go back on his original promise. Ning, she had always been a person who would respect others if they respected her. But now, she had agreed to her original promise. Even if she became popular now, she would still prioritize appearing on their show. On the other hand, Wang Xiaoyuan was the one who declined in order to get the ratings. Damn it. She had fought for this male guest spot for the great Demon King. Ning, she didn't sound annoyed, but said lightly, "In this case, Director Wang, please choose another female guest." On the other end of the line, Wang Xiaoyuan had thought that Ning she would definitely compromise, but who knew that she would rather not do it, so he panicked. "Miss Ning, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We can talk things over. Please don't be angry. This is my fault. I shouldn't have acted on my own, but I really thought that you would be satisfied with the male guests I invited this time. If Ning she didn't go up, what was the use of him inviting Xianxia? Even though they were both protagonists in the movie, Ning, she was much more popular than Xianxia. If only the two of them could fight together. Sigh. What a waste of such an opportunity to make the show popular. Wang Xiaoyuan had no choice but to bear with the pain and say, "Miss Ning, don't be angry. I promise you, whoever you want, we will do our best to accommodate all your requests." Chapter 1242. Wang Xiaoyuan really didn't understand why Ning she insisted on having Kumingyu on the show. Was it because the senior management of Xianxia Media wanted to promote Kumingyu, so they asked Ning she to be his coach? It was quite possible. Hearing Wang Xiaoyuan's words, Ning she didn't push him. "Thank you for keeping your promise, Director Wang. As for the ratings, don't worry. I will dress up as a man." As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Xiaoyuan was almost dizzy from the sudden pie in the sky. "You? What did you say? Miss Ning, do you mean that you are willing to dress up as a man and appear on our show?" Wang Xiaoyuan couldn't believe his ears. So many popular programs had invited Ning she to dress up as a man and appear on their programs, but Ning she had rejected them all. So although he also wanted Ning she to dress up as a man and appear on their programs, he didn't dare to mention it, because he knew it was absolutely impossible. Unexpectedly, Ning she took the initiative to propose it. How could he not be happy? Not to mention the designated male guest. He would agree to any request. "Miss Ning, don't worry. I will do a good job on this show. If you have any other requirements, just tell me. I will explain it to Xianxia so that you won't have any worries." Wang Xiaoyuan hung up the phone excitedly and hurried to report the good news to the others. Lin Jiji looked at Ning she with deep eyes. In fact, Ning she didn't have to agree to dress up as a man and appear on the show, but she still did it. She was extremely attentive towards Kumingyu. It was normal for Ning she to fall in love with a man at her age. As long as she knew her limits, it was okay. But she was a little surprised. Why did she fall in love with Kumingyu? Then Xianxia's agent, Cheng Yanan, received a call from the program team of Beauty's private restaurant. After the call, Cheng Yanan walked to the theater and found Xianxia, who was watching a movie. On the big screen of the home theater, Dream Hunter was playing. He had watched this film over and over again 800 times, but he didn't feel bored. Cheng Yanan shook her head helplessly and said, "Hanxian, the program team of Beauty's private restaurant just called. Because of some accidents, the male guest has been changed." "Changed? Who?" Xianxia looked away from Ning Shi's face in women's clothes and turned to his agent. "Kumingyu," Cheng Yanan replied. Xianxia's expression instantly changed. "What? Why was there a sudden change?" "I heard that Ning Shi agreed to appear on the show on the condition that the male guest must be Kumingyu. Maybe Golden Era wants to promote Kumingyu," Cheng Yanan explained. Upon hearing this, Xianxia's expression turned even uglier. He kicked over the seat in front of him and said, "You're just going to watch as my show is snatched away?" Cheng Yanan was puzzled by Xianxia's anger. It's just a cooking show. There are many other shows that are more popular than this. There's no need to dwell on this matter. and there's no need to fight with Xianxia. Moreover, Ningxi has promised Kumingyu that she will appear on the show dressed as a man. With such a condition, Beauty's private restaurant will definitely listen to her. When Sheng Yanan saw that Shun Hanshin's mood had not only not eased, but his expression had also worsened, Sheng Yanan crossed her arms and looked at her artist with a thoughtful expression. Chapter 1243. After leaving the company, Ningxi immediately ran to the Platinum Palace to ask the devil for credit. Mr. Boss, the guest for the next episode of Beauty's private restaurant has been decided. We can go on a date tomorrow, Ning, she said cheerfully. On the sofa, Lu Tingxiao put down the book in his hand and hugged the girl who ran over excitedly. Yes, Cheng Feng told me just now. Lu Tingxiao was working for an ordinary second-rate agent named Su Tao in Xianxia Entertainment, but all his activities as Kun Mingyu were actually handled by his special assistant, Cheng Feng. Humph, that director is so disloyal. He even wanted to go back on his word and invite Shen Hanshun, but I rejected him decisively. Ning, she said, "Don't worry, baby, I'll support you. What do you want to eat, sweetheart? I'll make it for you." Seeing the girl's happy face, Lu Tingxiao was also infected. He gently stroked the girl's hair. "Anything is fine," Ning, she thought for a moment. "Then I'll decide. You'll be responsible for eating," Lu Tingxiao said. "Okay." Ow, ow, ow. Ningxi and Lu Tingxiao were talking sweetly to each other. With a howl, a figure ran in from outside the door. It was Lu Jingli. He was watching something on his cell phone and howling angrily. "Brother, how can you do this? You've gone too far. Last time, when I wanted to be a male guest, you wouldn't let me do it no matter what. But now, you're actually using public tools for your own benefit and opening a back door for yourself. It's like only the officials are allowed to set fires, but the people are not allowed to light lamps. This is unfair." Lu Jingli was obviously talking about Lu Tingxiao's appearance on the show. In order to build momentum, the program team had released the news that Ningxi and Kun Mingyu would appear on the next episode. The audience had been very excited when Ningxi appeared on the show last time, and this time, they were all looking forward to it. But many of them were a bit disappointed that the male guest wasn't Shen Hanshin, the male lead of Dream Seeker. Of course, some of the audience who liked Kun Mingyu also expressed their expectations. This was the first time Kun Mingyu appeared on a variety show after his movie became popular. As for the fact that Ningxi would dress up as a man, the production team hadn't made it public yet. The netizens were left to speculate and discuss whether Ningxi would dress up as a man or a woman. Ningxi looked at Lu Jingli, who was complaining, and raised her eyebrows. "Stop howling. Who said your brother opened the back door for himself? He joined a show based on his own ability." Lu Jingli's face was full of disbelief when he heard that. "That's impossible. Don't try to bluff me. As far as I know, the male guest was Shan Hanshan at the beginning, but in the end, it was changed to my brother. My brother must have used some special means to cut it off." Ningxi rolled her eyes at him. "Bullshit. I told the crew that I wouldn't be on the show if the male guest was not your brother." Lu Jingli clutched his throat, almost choking on the dog food. Do you still have any humanity?" After saying that, he roared, "You call this a test of strength?" Ning, she said matter-of-factly, "Of course not. I'm your brother's woman. My strength is your brother's strength, isn't it, sweetheart? Oh." Ning, she said, and kissed Lu Tingxiao on the cheek. Lu Tingxiao's eyes were full of affection. "Okay." Lu Jingli was speechless. "I'm definitely not your biological brother or brother-in-law." Chapter 1244. On the day of the shooting. In front of the Capital TV station building, a large number of fans gathered in front of the TV station after learning that she would come to the station to record the program today. The crowd was so dense that it was almost impossible to see the end of it. A moment later, a black nanny car stopped in front of the door. Then, Ningxi in a light, gray, British-style suit got out of the car. As soon as they saw Ningxi in men's clothes, the fangirls on the scene went crazy. Some even almost fainted on the spot. "Huh? Brother Shi, look over here. Ah, hubby, I love you. Hubby, I want to give birth to a monkey for you." Xiao and Xianxia had officially taken up their posts. The two of them were wearing black suits and sunglasses. They were tall and sturdy, guarding Ningxi like door gods, isolating her from the crowd. Listening to a group of girls shouting that they wanted to give birth to the lady boss's children, the two of them almost collapsed at this moment. One of the girls was so excited that she forcibly broke through the line of defense of the security guards and rushed towards Ningxi. Xiao immediately stretched out his iron arm to block her with a dark expression. The girl leaned back because of inertia and was about to fall. Ningxi quickly stepped forward and reached out to hold the girl's shoulder. Then she looked in Xiao's direction with some displeasure. "Hey, be gentle to my women." The screams on the scene almost broke through the sky. Facing the group of girls who were even more crazy and almost couldn't suppress them, all the security guards, including Xiao and Xianxia, were on the verge of collapse. "Brother, don't increase our workload." At this moment, Xiao and Xianxia looked at each other, and both of them were 120% alert. They used to look down on being a celebrity's bodyguard, thinking that it was too easy. Now it seemed that it was definitely not an easy job, because not only did they have to protect the lady boss, but they also couldn't hurt the fans. Most importantly, the lady boss was too popular now, and the fans were all girls. They were so crazy that it was terrifying. After some trouble, Ningxi finally arrived at the studio smoothly. "Ah, sister, she is here." Oh, brother, she is so handsome in men's clothes. She is even more charming in real life than in the movie. Oh my God, I can't do it." "Unfortunately, brother, she has already done his own makeup. What a pity that I can't do it today. The last time I came, she was obviously a super beauty. It's amazing. I always had a feeling that Ningxi would become popular, but I didn't expect her to become popular so quickly and to such an extent. No wonder he's so popular. He's popular with both men and women. I can already predict the viewership ratings for this episode. It's a pity that the male guest this time is Kumingyi. If it was Xianxia, that would be perfect. I heard that Xianxia will also come to the station today to record another program. Oh, that's true. Kumingyi's character in the movie is quite elegant, but looking at him in person, he's really too ordinary. His looks are unrecognizable, and he doesn't have any sense of existence at all. As soon as she arrived, Director Wang, Xiaoyuan, and the others came over to say hello to her. Ningxi glanced around and saw that Lu Tingxiao had already arrived. After saying hello to everyone, she directly ran to the rest area to find him. "Kiki, you're early." "Senior." Seeing Ningxi, Lu Tingxiao greeted her and instantly entered Kumingyu mode. When Ningxi heard the Great Demon King call her senior, she almost laughed out loud. However, every time she heard the Great Demon King call her senior, she felt quite happy. Chapter 1245. After a little preparation, the shooting of the show began. Hello, everyone. As you all know, the female guests of our beauty's private restaurant are all beautiful women. This time, of course, it is the same. However, the beauty we invited today is a little special. I think many people already know who she is. She is our Ningxi. The host, Zhu Xiaoan, excitedly invited Ningxi onto the stage. As soon as he finished speaking, the audience immediately let out an excited exclamation and held up the sign with Ningxi's name. "Hello, everyone. Long time no see. I'm very happy to come to our show again." Ningxi, dressed in a light gray suit, bowed like a gentleman. The audience screamed incessantly. The host, Zhu Xiaoan's eyes lit up. He stood close to Ningxi calmly and reached out to touch Ningxi's lapel. He said in an exaggerated tone, "Oh my God, I can't believe my eyes. Last time you came here, you were a great beauty, but this time you have become the national Prince Charming, the dream lover of all girls. Of course, it is also mine." Seeing the host touching Ningxi at such a close distance and flirting with her, the audience screamed with excitement and jealousy. The host chatted with Ningxi for a long time. It was not until the director reminded her that she reluctantly said, "Let's welcome today's male guest, Kumingyu, who plays the role of Linyu in Dream Seeker. After Ku Mingyu stepped onto the stage, the host said a few words and then immediately changed the topic to Ning Shi. Brother Shi, what kind of delicious food will you bring to us today? Ning Shi glanced at Ku Mingyu next to her. Today's food is quite ordinary, egg-wrapped rice, but it's very suitable for everyone to cook for their loved ones. Wow, beloved ones. Several fans of Ji Feishue and Lin Yu hugged each other excitedly. Zhu Xiaoan was still a little dissatisfied that the male guest today was changed from Xianxia to Ku Mingyu. He deliberately ignored Ku Mingyu on the stage and didn't throw the topic to him. At this moment, he just casually said, "I'm looking forward to it. It seems that our male guest is in luck today. So can we start now?" Ning Shi asked. Of course. The host greeted him with a smile and asked shyly, "Brother Shi, what can I do for you? Can I help you cut the vegetables?" Not only did she ignore the male guests, but she also wanted to steal the male guests' jobs. Ning Shi understood what Zhu Xiaoan meant. She said with a faint smile, "A girl's hand is not for this kind of thing. Leave it to a man." Hearing this, although she was rejected, Zhu Xiaoan was still excited, and the audience below were all bewitched by her. After successfully protecting him, Ning Shi walked to the stove that had been prepared. In order to give the audience the greatest visual enjoyment, Ning Shi was wearing a British-style suit with many layers. She looked very handsome, but it was a little inconvenient to cook. As soon as she stood in front of the stove, Ku Mingyu, who had almost no presence since the beginning, tacitly walked in front of her and meticulously helped her roll up her sleeves. She didn't even need to say anything before Ku Mingyu, who had almost no presence since the beginning, walked up to her and meticulously helped her roll up her sleeves. "Thank you." Ning Shi looked at the man's eyes and smiled. Chapter 1246. This was obviously a very ordinary scene, but for some reason, when these two people did it, it gave people a sweet romantic feeling of being wrapped in pink bubbles. The fangirls in the audience blushed, and their hearts raced at this scene. Oh, my girl's heart. Why do I feel like I'm being abused? I'm going crazy. What hobby in love. I like Lin Yu and Ji Feishue the most. I didn't expect them to be so compatible in reality. My little heart is about to die. Well, although I've always been on the side of the male lead and the female lead, when these two are together, they do give people a very harmonious feeling. Don't you think Ku Mingyu's aura is really super strong? There's a kind of aristocratic aura in his every move. And this kind of aura is definitely not faked. Every time I see it, I have a feeling of palpitation. Even Zhu Xiaoan, who had ignored Ku Mingyu several times, had to admit that Ku Mingyu did have a special attraction at this moment. After Ning Shi thanked him, she tilted her head slightly and whispered to Ku Mingyu what she needed his help to do. Ku Mingyu nodded slightly and went to prepare the ingredients. Every word and every little interaction between the two was very compatible. The audience reacted as if they were watching a romantic comedy. From time to time, there were bursts of excited screams. Director Wang Xiaoyuan didn't expect that the effect of these two people on the show would be so good. At this moment, he was already grinning from ear to ear. Originally, he wanted Zhu Xiaoan to create more gimmicks and sparks for the two, but he found that the natural warm and romantic atmosphere of the two was better. So he completely let them do whatever they wanted. The audience below the stage were all very satisfied with this result. Oh. I feel that I'm not here to watch a food show, but to watch the extras of Dream Seekers! Yes. The sweet married life of Ji Feishue and Lin Yu. It's so lovely. With the cooperation of Ku Mingyu, Ning Shi soon finished making the omelet rice. After wrapping the super good rice with eggs, Ning Shi picked up the ketchup on the side, thought for a while, and then wrote on the omelet rice, "I love you." Seeing Ning Shi write, "I love you" on the omelet rice, the scream from the audience almost broke through the roof. They were all shouting Ning Shi and Ku Mingyu's names. The director hurriedly reminded the cameraman to give a close-up of Ning Shi's words, his face full of satisfaction. This time, the program could totally use Dream Seekers as a gimmick to attract the audience. He actually made a food show into an idol drama. He was a genius. This episode was definitely more popular than he had expected. Now he was really glad that he had promised Ning Shi to invite Kumingyu. At this moment, when everyone's eyes were on Ning Shi and Kumingyu on the stage, no one noticed that in the corner of the backstage, Xianxia, who had just finished a show, was cold and gloomy. No one knew how long he had been standing there. Chang Yanin looked at her own artist with a complicated expression. She hadn't been sure before, but now, Xianxia's strange reactions clearly pointed to one conclusion. Xianxia was probably interested in Ning Shi. Chapter 1247. After the recording of today's show, as an Easter egg, Ning Shi specially made a few dishes for the audience and fans. The excited girls all shouted that they wanted to marry her. In the end, there was even a shy boy who ran over to confess his love to her in the unoccupied lounge backstage. As soon as the door closed, Ning Shi was covered in overwhelming kisses. He had wanted to do that when he saw the words, "I love you" on the omelet rice. Oh, are you angry? Ning Shi thought that Lu Tingxiao was jealous because of the fans' reactions. Lu Tingxiao said, "I'm not angry." Ning Shi raised an eyebrow. "Are you sure?" He sighed softly and kissed her again. "I'm the only one who can treat you like this." Okay, he couldn't refute that, in front of the TV station building. It wasn't convenient for Ning Shi to go with Kumingyu, so they went home separately. "Cuckoo, I'm leaving first." "Okay, be careful on the road." Kumingyu watched as the girl's car left. After Ning Shi left, Kumingyu was about to leave when someone suddenly walked over. Xianxia stopped next to him and lit a cigarette. He looked at him with a faint smile and said in a mocking tone, "Kumingyu, how does it feel to live off a woman?" Kumingyu glanced at Xianxia. He didn't fly into a rage like Xianxia had expected. He said expressionlessly, "Not bad." After saying that, the man drove away. Xianxia stood there for a long time before he came back to his senses. He threw away the cigarette in his hand and was so angry that his handsome face was contorted. To a man, living off a woman was definitely the biggest insult. He had deliberately used this to humiliate him. But who knew that his reaction would be like this after getting into the car? Xianxia was still on the verge of exploding. Chang Yanin hurriedly comforted him. "Hachin, why are you so calculated with this kind of person? He's already living off a woman. Does he have any shame?" Xianxia was young and impetuous. He immediately said angrily, "How am I not as good as Kumingyu? Why is she willing to go through so much effort to help that wimp and not even look at me?" Chang Yanin coughed softly. She thought to herself, liking someone isn't something that can be explained with just a few words. Besides, who told you to dislike her when you were filming? She took advantage of you for nothing. Of course, she would not say it out loud to anger the man in front of her. Instead, she comforted him. "Han-shun, I think you're overthinking it. Kumingyu has signed with Golden Era, and Ning Shi is probably just helping him. By the way, you told me last time that you wanted to poach Ning Shi to join our Fengxing. Actually, it's not impossible." "What do you mean?" Xianxia immediately asked. Chang Yanin said, "Actually, I've heard that Su Yimo will make a move against Ning Shi soon. She won't be able to stay in this golden age for long. Ning Shi is so popular now. There's no way Golden Era would give up on the benefits. Does Su Yimo really have the ability to make Golden Era give up on such a popular star?" Xianxia asked uncertainly. Chang Yanin shook her head. "There's something you don't know. Even if you're an A-lister, if Su Yimo wants you dead, you won't be able to survive." "What do you mean? Do you know whose woman Su Yimo is?" Chang Yanin said mysteriously. "Who?" Chang Yanin stretched out a finger and pointed upwards. "Lu Group." Xianxia frowned. "Lu Jingli." Chang Yanin shook her head. She then said in a fearful tone, "It's not Lu Jingli, it's Lu Tingxiao." "What?" This time, even Xianxia's expression changed. Chapter 1248. Ning Shi and Lu Tingxiao returned to the Platinum Palace. Since Lu Tingxiao was going abroad on a business trip tomorrow, They might not see each other for a long time, so Ningxi stayed the night here. After coaxing Little Bun to sleep, Ningxi closed the door and went to Lu Tingxiao's bedroom. There was no one there, so she found him in the study. She saw a man working at the desk. "Why aren't you sleeping? Go to bed early. You have to catch a flight tomorrow," Ningxi said discontentedly when she saw Lu Tingxiao was still busy. "Yes, I still have some time." Lu Tingxiao was reading and revising some unknown contract without blinking. When he heard her words, he naturally extended his arm and pulled the girl onto his lap. Ningxi felt sorry for him. She touched the dark circles under Lu Tingxiao's eyes. "Alas, I shouldn't have asked you to come to the show with me. You're so busy." Lu Tingxiao held the girl's fingers and kissed them. He looked at her with a faint smile and said, "You're nothing in this world. Are you going to deprive me of my only pleasure in life?" Ningxi couldn't help blushing when she heard his low, husky voice. Holy shit, the words that she had said previously came out of the great Demon King's mouth. In the end, the level of seduction soared to the sky. The devil was so good at applying what he had learned. "Ahem, where are you going?" Ningxi asked. "Moscow, country, when will you come back?" "I'm not sure. I'll come back after I solve the problem," Lu Tingxiao answered. Hearing this, Ningxi frowned slightly. She remembered some news she had read in the financial section of magazines and newspapers recently. It was said that Lu's group had frequent accidents in the overseas market, and a strong investment company suddenly appeared in China to seize the market of Lu's group in Hua Nation. These things were common in the business world, but Ningxi felt uneasy because they were too coincidental. Lu Tingxiao's eyes flickered when he saw the girl's worried look. He deliberately whispered in her ear, "You're still here, and you're already missing me?" Ningxi couldn't help but laugh. She glared at him and said, "That's right. There are so many talented beauties from different races in each country. What if you get kidnapped? Other women are no different from dust in my eyes." Although they were words of love, Lu Tingxiao's expression was unusually serious when he said it. He really thought so. Ningxi kissed the man's lips. "Me too." The next morning, Ningxi sent Lu Tingxiao to the airport. Although Ningxi was now completely famous, fortunately, her disguise skill was quite superb. If she wanted to go out to do some private things, she only needed to change her makeup. For example, today, Ningxi actually dressed up as a high school student and wore a school uniform. Even if the eyes of the fans were made of titanium alloy, they probably wouldn't be able to recognize the cute and tender female student in front of them as their male. Sama, the corners of Lu Jingli's mouth twitched as he looked at his sister-in-law's underage appearance in amazement. "Little Cece, you're amazing." I'm convinced, initially, he wanted to say that little Cece would not be able to have fun anymore since she would be surrounded by fans whenever she went out. However, it turned out that he was too naive. "I'm leaving." Lu Tingxiao rubbed the girl's hair affectionately and then leaned over as if he wanted to kiss her. However, when he saw her dress, he couldn't do it. Chapter 1249. Ningxi waited for a long time, but didn't get a goodbye kiss. She was a little unhappy and looked at him accusingly. "Kiss, kiss." Lu Tingxiao pinched his eyebrows and looked a little helpless. Lu Jingli was speechless. "Xiao Cece, aren't you afraid that my brother will take you away after kissing you?" Lu Jingli was thinking that he didn't have to eat dog food this time. However, Ningxi took off her school jacket, jumped up, and kissed the man's lips. Lu Jingli was speechless. Brother, she was awesome. However, the dog food wasn't over yet. His brother had just finished kissing his wife and then turned to him and said, "Take care of Ningxi and the company." Ningxi and the company? He put his wife first. It was obvious which one was more important. As for him, after sending Xiao Cece back, Lu Jingli rushed to Lu Corporation to deal with business. Lu Tingxiao had asked Lu Jingli to use Xianxia Entertainment as a practice. Now that Xianxia Entertainment was on the right track, Yi Sudong, the deputy general manager of Xianxia Entertainment, was in charge of daily affairs. Lu Jingli's focus had gradually returned to the head office. Backstage of a high-end brand's ribbon-cutting event, Zhao Anqin finished the call and walked in with a flushed face. She said excitedly. Yimo, Director Yi from Lu Group's advertising department, just replied to me. He said it's no problem at all. We can go and sign the contract in a few days. Recently, Su Yimo's endorsement contract with Lu Corporation had expired, and they were talking about renewing it. Seeing how popular Ningxi was and how proud Lin Jiji was, Zhao Anxin couldn't sit still, so she doubled Su Yimo's endorsement fee with Lu Corporation. Su Yimo showed a rare look of joy when she heard that. What do they say? They don't have any objections to such a high price? Zhao Anxin immediately said proudly. Yimo, look at what you're saying. How could they dare to object? If you ask for a low price, it will damage your reputation. President Lu has always been obedient to you, okay? Liang Biqin also said excitedly. Cousin, President Lu really dotes on you. Su Yimo's cheeks turned red, and then a worried expression appeared on her face as she thought of something. But it's been so long. I've never seen him alone. At first, she thought that Lu Tingxiao was keeping a low profile to protect her. She even thought that this was his way of expressing his feelings. However, as time went on, it had been more than a year, and Lu Tingxiao still had no intention of going on a date with her, which inevitably made her a little disappointed. Liang Biqin immediately comforted her. Sis, that's Lu Tingxiao we're talking about. How can he act like an ordinary man? I'm sure he has his reasons. He must be looking for the best time to announce a relationship. In fact, Zhao Anxin had a similar worry at the beginning. She was worried that there might be some misunderstanding. However, Lu Corporation's attitude towards Su Yimo couldn't be faked. Su Yimo came from an ordinary family. There was no way she could have anything to do with Lu Corporation. Other than Lu Tingxiao liking Su Yimo, there was no other possibility. Thus, Zhao Anxin said confidently, Biqin is right. I heard that the two elders of the Lu family don't really like people from the entertainment industry. Boss Lu is most likely doing their job. Chapter 1250. Hearing their words, Su Yimo agreed with them and immediately felt relieved. Seeing that Su Yimo was in a good mood, Liang Biqin massaged her shoulders attentively and said, Cousin, speaking of the Lu Group, I heard that the Lu Group is going to spend a lot of money to gather 7 super popular male stars in the entertainment industry, including Jiangmai, to shoot a large-scale advertisement. This is a full-line advertisement for all of the Lu Group's products. When the time comes, it will be on all the channels of the Lu Group. Su Yimo said, I heard about it. What's wrong? It would cost a lot of money to hire a superstar like Jiangmai. But Lu Enterprises was going to hire 7 of them. When the news was released, fans on the internet almost went crazy. So far, there were 6 confirmed candidates, and there was only 1 left, but because they were all male stars, it had nothing to do with her. So, Su Yimo didn't understand why Liang Biqin suddenly brought it up. Liang Biqin immediately said indignantly, Isn't Ningxi quite popular recently because she's playing a role that's neither male nor female? I heard from the advertising department of Lu Enterprises that they want to hire Ningxi to dress as a man for this advertisement. Su Yimo's expression changed. What? She had tolerated this Ningxi for the sake of the big picture, but now she dared to get involved in Lu Enterprises. Liang Biqin saw Su Yimo's expression and knew that this was definitely Su Yimo's sore spot, so she immediately added fuel to the fire. Cousin, this Ningxi has gone too far. Not only did she steal what should have belonged to me, she even came to your territory to show off. She's too arrogant. If it hadn't been for Ningxi, the popularity and the sensational advertisement of Lu Enterprises would have been hers. How could Liang Biqin not be angry? Su Yimo snorted, glanced at Zhao Anxin, and said casually, Sister XN, call Director Yi right now and ask what's going on. If they really want to hire Ningxi, you know what to do. Su Yimo then went to the front with Liang Biqin to attend the ribbon-cutting ceremony. Zhao Anxin naturally knew what Su Yimo meant, so she immediately called Yi Ying, the director of the advertising department of Lu Group, after receiving her signal. Hello, Miss Zhao. Is there any problem with Yimo's contract? Ying asked politely. Zhao Anxin said, I'm sorry to bother you again, Director Yi. I'm not here for Yimo. I have something to ask you. Oh, what is it? Please speak, Miss Zhao. I heard that Lu's group is going to shoot a full-line TV commercial with 7 super popular male stars in the entertainment circle. And one of them is Ningxi? Zhao Anxin asked. Hearing Zhao Anxin's question, Yi Ying's face darkened. She chose Ningxi as the last candidate, and this idea was unanimously approved by the advertising department. However, the thing she was most worried about still happened in Xianxia Entertainment. The legendary lady boss, Su Yimo, and Ningxi seemed to be competitors now that Su Yimo had indeed asked about this matter. Inviting Ningxi to be the spokesperson was probably going to fall through. Chapter 1251. About inviting Ningxi to be the spokesperson. I do plan to do that. What do you think, Miss Su? Ying asked cautiously. Zhao Anxin said unhappily. Director Yi, let's not beat around the bush. I'm sure you know what's going on with Xianxia Entertainment. Ningxi is indeed a little immature. She has made our Yimo very unhappy. Our Yimo is also a nice person who tolerates her time and time again. Now, she actually got the endorsement of Lu Group, just like our Yimo. She's jumping around right under her nose to disgust our Yimo. Tell me, how can our Yimo not feel disgusted? Ying sighed inwardly and said, Miss Zhao, I understand what you mean. It's my fault. I'll find someone else to be the endorser. Please tell Miss Su not to worry. I won't allow Ningxi to appear in the advertisements and endorsements of Lu's group in the future. I hope Miss Su won't mind. After hesitating for a long time, Ying chose this method. Others might not know, but as the director of the PR department of Lu Enterprise, she knew better than anyone else. Boss had promised to satisfy all of Su Yimo's requests. Not to mention that Su Yimo had been in the company frequently and was close to the young master. Therefore, even though Zhao Anxin had asked for double the endorsement fee, she had agreed without hesitation. Not to mention, it was just a change of spokesperson. Unfortunately, she had spent a lot of time and effort on this commercial. If she could invite Ningxi, it would be the finishing touch and the effect would be doubled. Now she had to find someone else. While Ying was thinking, Zhao Anxin said, Since you want to find someone else, why don't I recommend someone to you, Director Yi? RB Qin is also very good in men's clothing. What do you think, Director Yi? Ying almost vomited blood when she heard this. Liang Biqin could replace Ningxi? How could she make such a request? Compared with Ningxi, Liang Biqin had been scolded badly by the audience. If she hired such a person for the advertisement, all her efforts would go to waste. What's wrong, Director Yi? Is there a problem? Zhao Anxin's tone was slightly oppressive and threatening. After all, the other party could really be the future lady boss. Even if she couldn't become the lady boss, she would still be under the protection of Sir Boss. No matter how unwilling she was, she had to compromise of course there's no problem. In the end, Ying gritted her teeth and said, after Su Yimo and Liang Biqin finished the event, Zhao Anxin told them the result. Yimo, it's done. After I told him what you wanted, Director Yi immediately said that he would never ask Ningxi to be the endorser. Not only that, but he also said that Ningxi would not appear in all the endorsements and activities of Lu's group. Su Yimo nodded in satisfaction. By the way, there's another piece of good news. I helped Bai Qin get the endorsement, Zhao Anxin said with a smile. Liang Biqin was overjoyed. What? Xian's sister. Are you saying that Ningxi's endorsement is mine now? That's right. Xian's sister. Thank you. And cousin, I'm so happy to be with you. Liang Biqin exclaimed excitedly. Su Yimo calmly looked at her cousin's excited expression. Are you satisfied now? So you don't have to keep nagging me. Yes. Cousin, you're so awesome. That Ningxi is nothing in your eyes. Chapter 1252. Inside Lin Ziji's office at Xianxia Entertainment. Ningxi was discussing the script with Lin Ziji. Lin Ziji handed a script to Ningxi. Ningxi, take a look at this. Ningxi rolled her eyes. The director is Guo Qixing. She had worked with Guo Qixing on The World, and It had been a smooth and enjoyable collaboration. Lin Zhizhi nodded. That's right, but this time it's not a movie, it's a TV series. Although you started out in the film industry, I don't recommend giving up on TV series and only movies. Nowadays, many movie stars think that making TV series is degrading, but it's not. The TV series market is huge now, and there's no difference between movie stars and TV stars. Ningxi echoed, I've never thought of making only movies as long as the script is good. Even Song Lin, the movie queen, insisted on not making TV series after so many years of making movies, but her popularity dropped. Didn't she take a TV series a while ago? After reaching an agreement, Lin Zhizhi continued, Guqixing's script is very good. It's a very popular fantasy IP series, written by a top domestic screenwriter, and hired a Hollywood special effects team. The actors are all big names and veterans in the industry. It's very suitable as your first TV series. Lin Zhizhi paused for a second, then continued. Actually, Guqixing had already given me the script a few months ago. Unfortunately, you had already accepted Shin Mian's film at that time. Fortunately, the production team was still in the preparation stage at that time. Recently, the preparations are almost done, and the main characters have basically been confirmed. So what's my role? Ningxi asked. Your role is one of the female leads. This TV series has 2 female leads, one good and one evil, each with their own characteristics. The 2 characters in the original novel are equally popular online, so most of the focus and gimmick of the TV series is on the 2 female leads, Lin Zhizhi explained. Ningxi was a little surprised. As early as a few months ago, Guqixing had already handed over this booklet. At that time, she wasn't as famous as she was now, but Guqixing had given her the role of the female lead without any worries. Although there were 2 female leads, from Zhizhi's description, this role was even more important than a single female lead. She was quite touched by Guqixing's trust in her. Who's the other female lead? Ningxi asked. Golden Horse Awards, Best Actress Meng Shi, replied Lin Zhizhi. Hearing this, Ningxi couldn't help laughing. Director Guo thinks too highly of me. Even with her current status, she was still a far cry from Meng Shi. Ever since Meng Shi debuted, she had always acted as the female lead, and every one of them was a masterpiece. She herself was an actress and was considered one of the rare female artists in the entertainment industry with good resources and talent. That was why at such a young age, she was able to win 2 Best Actress awards. What's more, the Golden Horse and Golden Statue were the 2 most prestigious film awards in the country. Indeed, her future was limitless. Thinking that she could work with such a real actor, Ningxi couldn't help feeling more excited. Sister Zhizhi, I'll take some time to look at this script and give you an answer as soon as possible. Ningxi said. In fact, she had already decided that she would take on this film. She could also take the opportunity to see if there were any roles suitable for the Demon King to make a cameo appearance. She had a good relationship with Guqixing, and Kumingyu was quite popular now. It shouldn't be a problem for her to insert him into a small role. Chapter 1253. Just then, Ningxi's phone rang. It happened to be Guqixing. She hurriedly picked up the phone. Hello, Director Guo. I was just discussing with Sister Zhizhi about the script you sent over. I didn't expect you to call. Ningxi, that's what I want to talk to you about. Has you been? Guqixing sounded hesitant. After a while, he asked, Ningxi, did you offend anyone recently? Hearing this, Ningxi was slightly stunned. No. Why do you ask that, Director Guo? Guqixing sighed. I just met with a few investors, and they seem to be afraid that I'll use you. They said that Lu Enterprises has banned you, and they're afraid that you'll be in trouble. Cough, cough, cough. She almost choked on her own saliva. Director Guo, what did you say? Who gave me the order to ban me? Lu Enterprises? Hearing Xi's words, Lin Zhizhi's expression changed. Guqixing, who was on the other end of the line, said, I don't know where this news came from either, but this rumor is very bad for you and will affect you greatly. Even if it's just a rumor, it's enough to make a lot of your resources shy away. Thank you for the reminder, Director Guo. I'll find out the truth. But you can rest assured that I've tailor-made this role for you. I'll be waiting for you, Guqixing promised. Ning Shi thanked him again and then explained the situation to Lin Jiji. Lin Jiji frowned. I'm afraid it's not completely groundless. Su Yimo must have taken action. Lin Jiji had always been calm, but now she looked worried. Ning Shi, I told you from the beginning that we can't afford to offend Su Yimo's backer. If Lu Enterprises really did it, then we have no way to fight back. You have to know, in the face of absolute power, all schemes and strategies are useless. Ning Shi didn't know how to comfort Lin Jiji. Was she supposed to say that her sweetheart would never ban her? So she could only say casually, Sister Jiji, don't worry. Maybe it's not as bad as we think. Big Sister Jiji, Big Brother Shi, it's time for the meeting. Xiao Tao knocked on the door and reminded them. Because the anniversary celebration of Xianxia Entertainment was just around the corner, the company specially convened some senior executives and influential artists to hold a meeting for some matters related to the anniversary celebration. After waiting for a long time, Su Yimo, Liang Biqin, and Zhao Anxin finally arrived. However, everyone seemed to take it for granted. It was obvious that they were already used to Su Yimo's behavior. Yimo, why are you working so late? You have to take care of your health. Not only did Yi Sudong not blame her for being late, but he also cared about her. All right, since everyone is here, let's start the meeting. Because the general manager is in the group and has been very busy recently, I will be hosting this meeting. During the meeting, Yi Sudong praised a lot of artists who had made outstanding contributions, not to mention Su Yimo. As for this year's most dazzling dark horse, Ning Shi, Yi Sudong didn't even mention a word about her. It could be said that he gave her the cold shoulder. After a long speech, Yi Sudong said excitedly, I called you all here today because I have a very important matter to inform you. That is, the president of our group, Lu Tingxiao, will also attend the company's anniversary celebration. So, you must all perform well. Chapter 1254. Lu Enterprises. Lu Jingli was working overtime in the company when someone knocked on the door. Come in, second young master. It was Yi Ying, the creative director of the advertising department. Lu Jingli stretched and looked at her. Hey, little Yezi, what's up? Yi Ying couldn't help but blush when she saw Lu Jingli's amorous eyes and how he addressed her so intimately. She said softly, second young master, I have something to ask you. Su Yimo's endorsement contract with Lu Corporation has expired, and we're currently talking about renewing the contract. However, Zhao Anxin has increased the contract's fee to twice the previous amount. Lu Jingli said casually, that's it? Yi Ying hurriedly said, don't worry, I've already agreed. I didn't want to bother you with such a small matter, but there's one more thing. Our company has a very important endorsement this year, and we're going to invite 7 super popular male stars. For the 7th star, I was going to invite Ning Shi, the actress who's been very popular recently, to be the spokesperson with the other 6 in men's clothing. That way, it'll be more creative and popular. Lu Jingli's eyes lit up when he heard this. He picked up the coffee beside him and took a sip. That's a good idea. Hearing Lu Jingli's praise, Yi Ying was happy but also disappointed. But Su Yimo is also interested in this advertisement and recommended Liang Biqin to replace Ning Shi. In terms of popularity, Liang Biqin is good enough, but in men's clothing, I'm afraid that Liang Biqin's image will affect the effect of the advertisement and even the image of our company. Yi Ying thought about it and finally couldn't bear to see the advertisement ruined. Even though she knew that Lu Jingli would probably agree to Su Yimo's request, she still came to ask for his opinion. Miss Su doesn't seem to like Ning Shi, so to avoid making her unhappy, I've promised her that I'll ban Ning Shi from all the endorsements and activities of Lu Enterprises in the future. Huffed. Lu Jingli spat out a mouthful of coffee. Yi Ying was shocked. Second young master, is there a problem? It took Lu Jingli a long time to recover. He was about to say something when he suddenly thought of something and fell silent. Lu Jingli rubbed his chin. Well, of course, he could stand up for little Cece now. But such a good opportunity to be a hero and save the damsel in distress should be given to his brother. Moreover, The one who started the trouble had to end it. This matter could only be done by his brother. Su Yimo had saved Xiaobao's life by accident. That was just to make her famous. That was not a big deal. Anyway, it didn't matter who she made famous. As long as she didn't court death, just her luck of saving Xiaobao was enough for her to live the rest of her life in luxury. Back then, after his brother said that, he never cared about this matter again. He had probably long forgotten about this person, not to mention paying attention to an insignificant person who leached off his popularity. This time, that woman had definitely succeeded in attracting his brother's attention. Little Easy, do you know that you just got your life back? Lu Jingli looked at Ying and said meaningfully, "Ah, what do you mean, second young master?" Ying looked puzzled. Lu Jingli sighed and then said kindly, "Director Yi, don't renew the contract with Su Yimo and that advertisement contract for the time being." This. Why? Ying was even more confused. Lu Jingli smiled. "You'll know when the time comes." Chapter 1255. At Xianxia Entertainment. After the meeting, everyone was excited because of the news that Vice President Yi Sudong said at the meeting. "Oh my God, is Boss Lu really going to come? I've worked for Xianxia for 5 years, and I've never seen Boss Lu. I've seen it once at an event. Is he really as handsome as the rumors say? How does he compare to our second young master?" Of course, my legs gave out just by looking at him. Okay? Compared to second young master, he's a completely different type. Several staff members looked at Ning Shi sympathetically as they discussed. Poor Ning Shi. She's finished as soon as she became famous. She became famous so quickly and even slapped Miss Su's face. I heard that she was supposed to be the spokesperson for Lu Group, but Su Yimo gave it to Liang Biqin and said that Ning Shi won't be able to sign any endorsements for Lu Group in the future. Oh my God, she's so miserable. Don't tell me the next step is to ban me? I think Ning Shi is doomed. Didn't Boss Lu come to support Su Yimo in person? Oh my God, I suddenly thought of something. Is Boss Lu going to reveal his relationship with Su Yimo at this anniversary celebration? On the other side, after the meeting, Ning Shi turned off the silent mode on her phone. Suddenly, she saw a text message from the devil on her phone. Thus, he hurriedly opened it and saw 4 words quietly written on the screen. Lu Cabbage, wait for me. When Liang Biqin walked past Ning Shi, she deliberately bumped in her shoulder, but Ning Shi's lower body was very stable. Liang Biqin didn't move Ning Shi at all. Instead, she stumbled because of the recoil and had to be supported by Zhao Anxin to steady herself. Liang Biqin glared at Ning Shi, snorted, and said fearlessly, "Ning Shi, if you kneel in front of me and apologize to me now, maybe I can forgive you this time and let you make a living in the entertainment industry." Su Yimo saw Liang Biqin humiliating Ning Shi in public, but didn't stop her at all. Ning Shi stopped Xiao Tao, who was about to step forward angrily. She put away her phone and glanced sideways at Liang Biqin. She smiled faintly and said, "I'll return the same words to you. Everything has its ups and downs. Miss Liang, forgive me for reminding you, but it's still not certain who will be in charge of the entertainment industry in the future." The moment Ning Shi said this, almost everyone around her sucked in a breath of cold air. This Ning Shi was too daring. Was she crazy? He actually dared to say something like that. After saying that, Ning Shi ignored everyone's reaction and left without looking back. After Ning Shi left, Liang Biqin finally realized what Ning Shi had just said. She was so angry that she almost vomited blood. "Cousin, look at her. Obviously, this lesson did not make her restrain herself at all. How dare he say such arrogant words in front of you to provoke you?" Liang Biqin gritted her teeth and whispered into Su Yimo's ear, "Cousin, when are you going to do it? I've already thought of several plans for you. I promise I'll kill Ning Shi without anyone knowing." A trace of coldness flashed across Su Yimo's lips. "Do I need a plan to attack her?" Liang Biqin paused. Cousin, you mean?" At this time, Zhao Anxin said with a smile, "Biqin, with Mo's status, if we want to kill that bitch, Ning Shi, we don't need to go through so much trouble." Liang Biqin immediately smiled. Right? I'm so confused. Chapter 1256. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, it was the day of Xianxia Entertainment's anniversary celebration. After the company meeting that day, Su Yimo announced to the entire entertainment industry that she was going to ban Ningxi. After all, Su Yimo was the top star of Xianxia Entertainment and had a great influence in the entertainment industry. Coupled with the coveting power behind her, almost all of Ningxi's work had been suspended these days, and she was almost not qualified to attend the anniversary celebration. In the end, Su Yimo had to plead in front of Yi Sudong to let Ningxi attend. With such a good opportunity, of course she wanted Ningxi to open her eyes wide and see who was in charge in the entertainment industry. The annual celebration of Xianxia Entertainment was exceptionally grand and grand every year, not to mention that the big boss of Xianxia Group would also be there this year. Yi Sudong, the vice president, had put in a lot of effort to make the entire ceremony extremely luxurious and invited all the influential media. In order to raise Su Yimo's status in the entertainment industry to a higher level, how could Zhao Anxin let go of such a good opportunity today? She had deliberately leaked the news to the media early on, saying that Lu Tingxiao was attending this time for Su Yimo, and that it was very likely that he would announce his relationship with Su Yimo today. After learning that the legendary CEO of Lu Enterprises would be attending this time, the media couldn't wait any longer. Admission tickets were hard to come by, not to mention such a sensational piece of gossip. How could they not be excited tonight? Su Yimo wore the Chanel Haute Couture white mermaid gown that she endorsed. She had an extraordinary temperament and won a lot of stunned gazes and endless compliments. It was impossible for Su Yimo to not have any ability to make it to where she was today. For example, she had perfected her trademark cold goddess image. Although many fans were a little tired of her monotonous image, there were still a lot of die-hard fans who fell for it. As soon as Su Yimo walked on the red carpet, the flashes of the media didn't stop one after another. After signing her name on the signature wall, Su Yimo was immediately surrounded by a group of sprinting reporters with long guns. Yimo, you're so beautiful today. Chanel's Wings of the Goddess is the only one who can ride on it. Yimo, today is the 5th anniversary of Xianxia Entertainment. What do you think? Yimo, I heard that CEO Lu of Lu Enterprises will also be here today. I heard that you and CEO Lu are very close in private. Is this true? That's... Just as the reporters are trying to get information out of Su Yimo, someone in the crowd suddenly exclaimed in the direction of the door. Soon after, the reporters surrounding Su Yimo all stared at the door in a daze at the end of the red carpet. She was wearing an extremely luxurious black dress. No one knew what the dress was made of. The lines were as light as flowing water, and the jewels and jades on it were like the starry sky in the universe. The mysterious and treacherous patterns emitted an extremely powerful aura. She was wearing such a breathtaking and cold dress, but her aura wasn't suppressed in the slightest. Instead, she was like a queen looking down on all living things. After a long while, the stunned crowd burst into exclamations. Too beautiful. Who is that woman? Ningxi. It was Ningxi. Oh my God, I almost didn't recognize you. Chapter 1257. Oh my God, what brand of clothes is she wearing? I've never seen it before. It's a masterpiece. A lot of people asked. I know it. It's one of Zhe Ling's treasures. It's called All Beings, and it's very famous. Many socialites and actresses wanted to buy it after it was released, but Zhe Ling didn't budge no matter how much they offered. It was difficult to rent it for a day. Most importantly, it's too hard to control. It's fine to keep it as a collection, but almost no one dares to wear it. I can't believe she can control it perfectly. She made me feel like All Beings was under her feet and was completely tamed by her. Oh my God, my brother, she is so beautiful in women's clothes. He's miles ahead of Su Yimo. No wonder Su Yimo is so afraid of Brother Shi. One of the reporters, who is Ningxi's fan, said angrily. Keep your voice down. Don't let Su Yimo hear you. After the photographers saw Ning Shi, they were all inspired and excited, and they all raised their cameras. Some didn't dare to openly take pictures, so they secretly took pictures. Unfortunately, because of Su Yimo's ban, these photos probably wouldn't be published even if they were taken apart from the photographers. The reporters were also stunned by Ning Shi, but no one dared to go up and interview her. Although she was ignored by all the media, Ning Shi was like a queen walking in her own back garden. She walked in calmly. She slowly walked across the red carpet and stopped in front of the signature wall. She picked up a pen and signed her name. Every move she made people unable to take their eyes off her. When they first saw Su Yimo, they were amazed. But now, in front of Ning Shi, Su Yimo was crushed into nothingness. Ning Shi was clearly a newcomer in the entertainment industry. She had just become famous, but she was dealt such a huge blow. Shouldn't she be unable to recover from this setback? How could she have such a strong aura? This woman was born to be in the entertainment industry. Unfortunately, she had to go against Su Yimo. Wasn't she trying to get herself killed? There were too many short-lived people in the entertainment industry. After today, it might be her last chance to show her face. Not far away, Lin Jiji looked at Ning Shi, who was walking toward her step by step. All kinds of emotions churned in her heart. Such a good seedling might have to stop here, and she could only watch helplessly. This kind of feeling made her heart feel as if it was being twisted by a knife. After Ning Shi's brief interlude, the focus of the celebration returned to Su Yimo. Compared to Su Yimo, who was surrounded by everyone, Ning Shi could only sit in a corner that was arranged to the back. The guests arrived one after another, and the scene became more and more lively. Miss Su is so beautiful today. She's so lucky. There's someone who's so lucky. Several investors and the CEOs of Xianxia Entertainment's partner companies were very polite to Su Yimo. One of them toasted her with a smile. Miss Su, we're old friends. Don't forget to put in a good word for me in front of President Liu. The huge sense of vanity made Su Yimo's slight unhappiness because of Ning Shi disappear. She spoke to those CEOs in a natural and unrestrained manner, even with a bit of arrogance. Of Lu Su Yuuf, she Su King, she couldn't so a. Chapter 1258. Second young master. Second young master. President Liu. Lu Jingli also arrived, accompanied by the excited screams of the girls. Lu Jingli was wearing a flashy pink suit today, which made him look even more flirtatious and unruly, causing the girls to scream nonstop. In the corner, Ning Shi looked at Lu Jingli's pink suit, and the corners of her mouth twitched. But it was undeniable that this guy really suited this color. Su Yimo thought that it was Lu Tingxiao, but she couldn't help but be a little disappointed when she saw that it was Lu Jingli. Liang Biqin teased, "Cousin, you've been looking forward to it." Su Yimo blushed and glared at her. "Don't talk nonsense." Seeing that Lu Jingli had arrived, Isudong hurriedly went up to him and looked behind him nervously. "General Manager, you're here." Then President Liu. He had been busy for so long and wanted to show off, but he didn't want President Liu to not show up. He just got off the plane and is already on his way here. Lu Jingli looked at Isudong with a faint smile. "Don't worry, my brother will definitely come tonight." Isudong felt that Lu Jingli's tone was strange, but he didn't think too much about it and let out a sigh of relief. It was good that he would come. After talking to Isudong, Lu Jingli walked up to the stage and raised his hand to signal for everyone to be quiet. Immediately, everyone fell silent and looked at Lu Jingli on the stage. Lu Jingli picked up the microphone, and his peach blossom eyes were full of a seductive smile as he said leisurely, "Today is the 5th anniversary of Xianxia Entertainment. Thank you all very much for coming. As you all know, my brother will also be here today. Apart from that, I have also obtained a great benefit for our female compatriots." Hearing this, there was a small burst of curious discussion. Benefit. Second young master, what benefit is it? Second young master, hurry up and tell us. Don't keep us in suspense. Lu Jingli glanced at a certain direction in the corner and continued. In the past, I have always been the one to perform the opening dance, but this year, President Lu will be the one to perform the opening dance. Ah! As soon as Lu Jingli finished speaking, he was drowned out by the excited screams of the audience. Lu Jingli made a sad expression. Sigh, so everyone hates me so much. Of course not. I like you the most. I like you the most. When the girls saw Lu Jingli's disappointed look, they naturally comforted him for a while. Satisfied, Lu Jingli continued. As for my brother's dance partner, I'm going to try something new this year. I'm sure you all got the number cards from the waiters. Please take good care of this token. Later, my brother will randomly pick a lady to dance with us. What if Boss Lu draws a man? Master, Lu Young, Master Lu. Master Yang, Lu. The girls were all masters, the girls were. In your dreams. Let's not talk about whether or not you will have such good luck. Do you really think that the selection will be random? That's true. There's an 80% chance that Su Yimo will steal it. We're just the accompaniment for their fun. Don't even think about it. Lu. Chapter 1259. Because of the big benefit Lu Jingli had just revealed, the atmosphere became even more heated. Although everyone knew that Su Yimo was most likely going to be President Lu's dance partner, the women inevitably held onto a glimmer of hope. What she was really chosen randomly. In a secluded corner, Jiang Mai's agent, Lei Ming, was anxiously making a phone call. My little ancestor, the general manager, is here, and President Lu is also on his way. Why aren't you here yet? Jiang Mai's irritating voice came from the other end of the phone. Who said I was coming? Lei Ming was furious. It's such a big day, and you're not coming? What on earth are you doing? Is there something urgent? Jiang Mai, I'm playing games. Lei Ming, I'm begging you, okay? Even if you just show your face and leave, it's fine. It'll only take up an hour of your gaming time. I said I'm not going. Jiang Mai hung up impatiently. Humph, he wasn't going. If he did, he would definitely be abused. After Lu Jingli's speech, Liang Biqin's eyes were full of stars. She excitedly held Su Yimo's arm. Cousin, I didn't expect President Lu to be so romantic. Zhao Anxin, who was next to her, was also full of pride. She looked at Lin Zhizhi mockingly. As long as Su Yimo was there, she would always be the #1 agent in Xianxia Entertainment. No matter how good Lin Zhizhi was, it was useless. Su Yimo looked at the door with longing in her eyes and murmured, It's just a random draw. Who knows who it will be? Zhao Anxin smiled. Yimo, everything tonight was carefully prepared by President Lu for you. How could it be anyone else but you? Su Yimo nervously looked at her makeup and dress. Sister X, is this okay? Is there anything wrong? No. You're so beautiful. President Lu will definitely fall for you. Boss Lu has done so much for you. This kind of friendship is very valuable. Then, the celebration continued in a warm atmosphere. However, everyone's attention was gradually drawn to the person who was about to arrive at the door. As time passed, Lu Tingxiao still didn't appear. Many people couldn't help but whisper, Why isn't he here yet? Don't tell me he's not coming. After all, Boss Lu is so busy. I heard that he just came back from a business trip abroad today and rushed here directly after getting off the plane. Boss Lu places so much importance on tonight's celebration. It's someone you value. As they waited anxiously, their deputy general manager, Yi Sudong, received a call. What? Here it comes. Good. I got it. Yi Sudong hung up the phone with a red face and then trotted to the door, followed by the shareholders and senior executives of Xianxia Entertainment. Outside the door, a low-profile black Maybach quietly stopped. Led by Yi Sudong, the company's executives lined up neatly in 2 rows and waited outside the car door. The driver got out of the car and opened the back door. Then a straight and slender leg came out of the car. The man was wearing a meticulous black suit, and there was no expression on his face. His whole body was emitting a huge pressure that belonged to a superior person. The man's face was extremely handsome, like God's most meticulously sculpted work of art. However, because the man's aura was too strong, it made people ignore his appearance. Yi Sudong walked forward in fear and trepidation. President Liu, you're finally here. Please come in. Chapter 1260. He's here. President Liu is here. It's true. It really is President Liu. Oh, he's so handsome. Oh my God, someone help me up. The woman that President Liu likes must have saved the world in her past life. Lu Tingxiao appeared amidst the excited screams of the women, who almost fainted. Su Yimo's heart pounded and her blood boiled as she watched the man walk over, surrounded by the higher-ups. The man who was so dazzling that he seemed to be the center of the world's attention as soon as he appeared. In the end, Liang Biqin reminded her. President Liu is here. Cousin, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and go. Zhao Anxin also gave her an encouraging look. Yimo, go. All of a sudden, the women's envious and jealous gazes almost burned through Su Yimo's body. Su Yimo was in a daze. She could almost imagine herself walking towards him, being held by the man, and walking towards the crowd with him. Finally, she took a deep breath and took elegant and noble steps. Under everyone's envious gazes, step by step, she walked towards the man's direction. Lu Tingxiao was walking in the same direction as Su Yimo. He walked forward coldly, but someone suddenly blocked his way. He subconsciously stopped and looked down at the woman in front of him. Other than Lu Jingli, the higher-ups around Lu Tingxiao all had mocking expressions on their faces. President Liu, you made our beauty Su wait for a long time tonight. Su Yimo acted like a goddess, but her face was full of shyness. She looked up nervously at the godlike man and shyly called his name. Tingxiao. She had called his name thousands of times in her dreams, and now she finally had the chance to call his name. However, Lu Tingxiao's cold expression became even colder. He looked at the woman as if she was a tiny ant. Who are you? In an instant, the entire place was silent. Whether it was the artists, employees, investors, or the media, none of them expected Lu Tingxiao to react like this. This was completely different from what they had imagined. Su Yimo imagined that her hand would be gently held in the next second, but she didn't expect to receive these 3 words. Her face instantly turned pale, and she froze there. What's going on? Did Tingxiao not want to make it public? So why did he come here today and do all of this? Lu Jingli rubbed his nose and clicked his tongue inwardly. His brother was indeed ruthless. 2 words, instant kill. Before anyone could react, Lu Tingxiao had already walked past Su Yimo and continued walking forward expressionlessly. After Lu Tingxiao signed his name on the signature wall, the stunned media finally reacted and rushed over to surround Lu Tingxiao. For the first time, a reporter from an entertainment newspaper took the lead. Boss Lu, you just said that you don't know Miss Su? Lu Tingxiao, should I know her? A reporter from Next Magazine, don't you know about the scandal between you and Miss Su? Lu Tingxiao, scandal? A reporter from Southern Newspaper. I heard that you have unwavering feelings for Miss Su and have been silently supporting her for so many years. A reporter from the entertainment newspaper. Weren't you going to announce your relationship at the anniversary celebration today? A reporter from the Sun Daily. There have always been rumors that Miss Su is your girlfriend. Faced with the reporter's excited questions, Lu Tingxiao's cold gaze swept across everyone, and he said unhurriedly, Is my taste that bad? Chapter 1261. Is my taste that bad? As soon as he said that, even Lu Jingli, who was watching the show as a bystander, felt his heart ache, not to mention how Su Yimo, the person involved, would feel when she heard this. His brother was simply too cruel to women other than Cece. Su Yimo stood there in a daze, looking like she had been shocked silly. Liang Biqin and Zhao Anxin, who were next to her, were also dumbfounded. Of course, The executives and business partners behind Lu Tingxiao didn't look any better. The scene was dead silent for a long time. After a while, there was a sudden burst of excited discussion. In Xianxia Entertainment, the employees and artists who had been oppressed had long been dissatisfied with Su Yimo. At this moment, they couldn't hold it in any longer and started discussing while staring at their boss. "Oh my God, this is the biggest show of the year. Our big boss doesn't even know Su Yimo. He doesn't even know who she is. That's not all. Didn't you hear what our boss said? He doesn't like someone like Su Yimo at all. Oh, can I say that our boss was so handsome just now? Did you see Su Yimo's disillusioned expression? It was Su Yimo's wishful thinking from the beginning to the end. I knew our big boss wouldn't have bad foresight. He hasn't been close to women for so many years. How could he fall for someone like Su Yimo as soon as he started eating? It's just, I don't know what kind of goddess our boss likes. I thought something wasn't right. Now, as expected, I think Su Yimo is delusional. She made up a melodramatic drama about a domineering CEO falling in love with her, but he doesn't even know who she is. How could someone like our boss know who she is? She's just a little famous in the entertainment industry, but she really thinks she's an unattainable goddess. The two people who spoke were both A-listers. Although they couldn't compare to the retired international award-winning actress Lung Manyan, how could they not feel aggrieved being suppressed by someone as disgusting as Su Yimo, who constantly brought up her so-called backstage? There were many artists like them in Xianxia Entertainment, and now that they saw Su Yimo's backstage collapse, they were all elated. As for the media at the scene, most of them were here for tonight's big news. They didn't expect it to be big news. Just because of a few words from Lu Tingxiao, the guests were in an uproar, and the media went crazy. Lu Jingli held his forehead as he watched the situation unfold in front of him. "Dear brother, asked you to come here to support me. Okay." But in the end, not even a minute after he arrived, he didn't say anything and directly supported the old woman. There's no one else like him. Ahem. Hey brother, she's an artist of Xianxia Entertainment. Can you give me some face? Lu Jingli ran over to smooth things over. It seemed like he was trying to smooth things over, but in reality, it made the relationship between Su Yimo and Lu Tingxiao even clearer. He hinted that all the benefits Lu Corporation gave Su Yimo were for Lu Jingli's sake. After all, Xianxia Entertainment was Lu Jingli's first company, but Su Yimo actually thought that Lu Tingxiao liked her. What a joke. Chapter 1262. In the corner, Xiao Tao's face was flushed with excitement. She looked like she wanted to kneel down in front of her boss. "Ah, brother Shi, did you hear that? Our boss is so handsome." This time, Su Yimo's face has been thrown into the Pacific Ocean. Let's see how she's going to swindle people with her fake identity as the lady boss of Lu Enterprises. Lin Jiji obviously didn't expect things to turn out this way. Her heart was going up and down like it was riding a roller coaster. Everything was a misunderstanding. Lu Tingxiao didn't even know Su Yimo. Lu Enterprises gave Su Yimo all the benefits just because she was an artist from Xianxia Entertainment. But there were so many potential stars in Xianxia Entertainment. Why did they choose Su Yimo, who wasn't popular at the time, and give her so many resources? I think Su Yimo was chosen to be heavily promoted purely because she was lucky. The company just randomly pushed someone out. Who knew she'd be so full of herself that she thought Lu Tingxiao had a crush on her? What the hell? That's ridiculous. Boss didn't look very happy just now. Su Yimo is finally going to be unlucky. Xiao Tao chattered excitedly. Seeing Ning, she's sitting there quietly and not saying a word. Xiao Tao curiously leaned over and asked, "Brother Shi, I find that you have been very calm since the beginning. You didn't react at all when you were banned. Did you foresee this result long ago?" Ning Shi's eyes fell on the man, surrounded by reporters. He glanced at Xiao Tao and chuckled. "Because I firmly believe that boss's taste is not that bad." Xiao Tao, she really couldn't refute this reason. Xiao Tao saw that Ning Shi was staring at her boss without blinking. Her gaze was so focused that she had never seen it before. It was so focused that she had an illusion of sweetness and affection. Tao shook her head violently and waved away the random thoughts in her mind. Her boss was so handsome. It was normal for girls to have such an expression when they saw him. Oh, since the boss has nothing to do with Su Yimo, does that mean we can compete fairly for the benefits that second young master mentioned? A female artist in the crowd exclaimed in surprise. I'm so excited. I can dance with the boss. God bless me. I hope the boss will pick me. At that moment, Su Yimo was still rooted to the spot. In the end, Zhao Anxin and Liang Biqin pulled her to a corner. Su Yimo felt the world spinning as she looked at the unreachable man and the mocking gazes around her. This isn't real. This isn't real. He clearly loves me. He clearly loves me. He clearly loves me so much. Su Yimo was in a daze as she kept muttering. She had concocted this dream of love for so long that she had completely tricked herself into it. In fact, from the very beginning, she felt that all of this was too unreasonable. However, the little suspicions and greedy thoughts that were originally like flames grew in her heart bit by bit, coupled with the huge benefits and vanity that the rumors about her and Lu Tingxiao brought her. It was like opium that bewitched her deeper and deeper. Until today, when this dream was suddenly smashed by a heavy hammer and ruthlessly torn apart in front of everyone. Chapter 1263. She regretted it. She regretted it. Why hadn't she been more careful? If she had been a little more rational, if she hadn't been so greedy, she could have continued to enjoy the glory of being Lu Tingxiao's woman and sat on the throne of Lu Corporation's future lady boss. But now, it was too late. Everything was over. Zhao Anxin was so regretful that her intestines were turning green. She thought that with Su Yimo's beauty, even if Lu Tingxiao didn't have any feelings for her, Su Yimo was still the nation's goddess. No matter what, Lu Tingxiao wouldn't embarrass her in front of everyone. As long as he was a little more tactful, they could continue to hype up the scandal. Wasn't that what they had been doing all this time? Anyway, Lu Tingxiao wouldn't pay attention to entertainment gossip, nor would he purposely clarify anything. But how could she have known that Lu Tingxiao would be so ruthless? He didn't leave them any leeway. Just one sentence of, "Who are you?" was enough to shatter their plans, and the last sentence he said to the reporters was enough to send them to the depths of hell. What was even more frightening was President Lu's attitude. He was probably angry. Zhao Anxin couldn't figure out what went wrong. How did things turn out this way tonight? All right, friend from the media, just as my brother said, what you're talking about is just a misunderstanding. I hope everyone won't believe it again in the future, let alone spread such rumors. After all, my brother is already taken, and he has always been very loving and sweet with his girlfriend. If my sister-in-law misunderstands, I'm afraid she'll have to kneel on a washboard. Lu Jingli teased. However, Lu Jingli's joke caused a huge uproar at the scene. The media never thought that explosive news would come one after another. Lu Jingli was suddenly faced with hundreds of reporters' microphones. What? Second young master, do you mean that President Lu already has a girlfriend? Who's President Lu's girlfriend? Or someone from the entertainment industry? Second young master, is what you said true? Second young master, can you reveal more? Second young master, Lu Jingli smiled and said, "Forgive me for not revealing too much about my future sister-in-law's identity, but I can tell you that they have been dating for almost a year, and their relationship is very stable." I'm about to vomit from their public display of affection. The media did not expect to find out the woman's identity, so they could only start from other aspects. Their microphones all turned to Lu Tingxiao. Boss Lu, is what second young master said true? I wonder when Boss Lu and his girlfriend plan to get married. Boss Lu has such high standards. Your girlfriend must be very beautiful. After supporting his wife, Lu Tingxiao didn't plan on saying anything. He was probably in a good mood, so he answered a few questions from the reporters. It's true. Look at her. Beautiful. Everyone, this answer was really simple and clear. The first question, what Lu Jingli said was true. It turned out that the rumors were true. Lu Tingxiao already had a girlfriend, but that person wasn't Su Yimo, who used his name to swindle people. No wonder President Liu made such a high-profile clarification today. It turned out that he was afraid that the woman at home would misunderstand and be jealous. The second question, when are they getting married? President Liu actually said that it was up to the woman. From his tone, it seemed like he was completely controlled by the other party. As for the last question, beautiful. Oh, this tone of voice was doting and proud. Chapter 1264. After hearing Lu Tingxiao's answer, everyone expressed that second young master was right. Even they were stuffed with dog food. In just a short period of time, the amount of information revealed was simply too much. As the number one man that all women wanted to marry, it was finally announced that he had a partner today. Lu Tingxiao had a girlfriend. It turned out that Lu Tingxiao liked women, and the two of them had been dating for quite some time. Based on this, if it was someone from the entertainment industry with a boyfriend like Lu Tingxiao, that woman would definitely be an all-powerful figure in the entertainment industry. After all, Su Yimo was only borrowing Lu Tingxiao's popularity, and she could already do whatever she wanted in the entertainment industry, not to mention that she was Lu Tingxiao's official girlfriend. Who could it be? The retired Lung Manyan? No. Lung Manyan was already so old, and she retired to get married. But President Liu and his girlfriend weren't married yet. Could it be Chu Jing, the super popular singer of Juxing Records, who was as popular as a rocket? Or the double best actress, Meng Shi, who was rumored to have a strong background and had a lot of resources as soon as she entered the entertainment industry? The entertainment industry was so popular that everyone guessed who had a strong background. Of course, most people were more inclined to guess that the other party was a rich socialite. All right, since everyone is here, let's officially start the celebration. That's right, the next part is the part that you've all been looking forward to the most. Who will be so lucky to get the chance to dance with you? Lu Jingli said in an infectious manner. Finally, the lucky draw began. The women at the scene were extremely excited. Someone in the crowd said, "If boss dances with another woman, will the lady boss be jealous?" Lu Jingli glanced at the corner and said with a smile, "How could that be? This is for work. My sister-in-law is very righteous." However, the reality was, how could his brother dance with another woman? Lu Tingxiao walked to the center of the stage, and then two hostesses carried a large red cardboard box up to him. Vice President Yi Sudong was shocked and wanted to stop him, but it was too late. On the stage, the man's slender fingers unhurriedly pulled out a piece of paper with a number on it. The MC carefully took the paper from his boss, then looked excitedly at the nervous crowd below the stage and said, "Who will this lucky lady be? Next, I'll reveal it to everyone. Stop wasting time. Hurry up and announce it. What's the number?" Number seven, please, it must be number 7. Amidst the urging, the host slowly unfolded the slip of paper and said, "This lucky lady is number 29. Which lady is number 29? There was a buzz of discussion below the stage. Everyone was looking at each other's number tags. Unfortunately, none of them were number 29. EMO. It's you. You're number 29. Zhao Anxin, who had been gloomy, pulled Su Yimo excitedly. Su Yimo came back to her senses and looked at the number tag in her hand in surprise. Is it me? It's EMO. Zhao Anxin didn't care about anything else. She was afraid that she would lose this opportunity to make a comeback. Upon hearing Zhao Anxin's words, the crowd fell silent for a moment. Su Yimo? How annoying. Calm down, I'm typing. Chapter 1265. Everyone had an indignant expression on their faces. No matter who it was better than Su Yimo. She's so shameless. Now that you've failed to swindle me, you're trying to seduce me instead? Boss, get her. Don't dance with her. No matter who it is, it's better than Su Yimo. But it's such an important event today. There are so many reporters watching. Second young master made the rules very clear. Even if Su Yimo did something, it's not going to change. Yimo, don't give up. With your looks, which man wouldn't want you? She's just your girlfriend. You're not married yet. You have a chance. Xianxia said to Su Yimo as she glared at the MC. The MC was on Su Yimo's side, so he immediately said, "Congratulations, Yimo, let's welcome." However, before he could finish, a cold voice came from the side. "Substitute." The MC's face instantly turned red, and he trembled in fear from Lu Tingxiao's oppressive aura. "Substitute." Lu Tingxiao actually said he wanted to substitute Su Yimo in front of everyone. He didn't even try to hide his hatred for her. Wow, long live the boss. So cool. This is how people like her should be treated. Go and pick one, Lu Tingxiao said to the MC. The MC didn't dare to object. He didn't dare to waste a second and pulled out a number. After seeing the number on the paper, the MC's legs turned to jelly, and he almost knelt down. At the same time, the high-definition camera suddenly pointed at the paper in the MC's hand on the huge screen behind him. The number on the slip of paper was displayed, 29. It was number 29 again. What the fuck? Why are there two numbers 29? Do you even need to ask? That box must be full of numbers 29. Ha ha ha. Su Yimo is so embarrassed now. How can she be embarrassed tonight? Vice President Isu Dong stumbled onto the stage and said in fear and trepidation, "I'm really sorry, President Liu. There was a small mistake." Then he glared at the MC. "What are you doing? Why did you come up with the same number?" The host's face was full of grievance, but he couldn't retort. Below the stage, Xianxia fell to the ground. It's over. It was all over. They had thought that this opportunity was a life-saving straw. But who knew that it would be the last straw that broke the camel's back? She couldn't imagine how the image of a cold goddess she had created for Su Yimo would be shattered after tonight, after a short period of twists and turns. Lu Jingli smiled and personally moved another cardboard box up. In order to show fairness, he even drew the number tag several times to prove that the numbers inside were all different. Then, he replaced the position of the host. This time, no one had any objections. They excitedly stared at Lu Tingxiao's finger as it reached into the box again. Ow, ow, ow. Who could it be? This time, it's really all luck. Xiao Tao excitedly grabbed Ningxi's arm. On the stage, Lu Jingli smiled and took the note from his brother's hand. He unfolded it unhurriedly and was about to use his unique skill of transfiguration to change into little CCs, but the next second, his eyes widened. Holy shit. Number 166. My brother is amazing. He actually drew little Cece himself? There's still one more chapter. Chapter 1266. It had been proven just now that the box had not been tampered with at all. However, in order to coax girls, Lu Jingli had a skillful little magic trick. No matter what number his brother drew later, he would be able to change it to little CC's number without anyone noticing. TSK. His tricks were much better than Isudong's. It wasn't the first time Lu Jingli had done something like this, so Lu Tingxiao naturally knew about it. Lu Jingli was originally planning to show off his skills, but who knew that his brother would be so amazing that he actually drew Ningxi? Damn it, my dear brother, your luck is too heaven-defying. Even the heavens are showing off to dogs. There's no justice in this world. Lu Jingli looked at the number on the paper with tears streaming down his face and said, "This time, your dear boss drew number 166. Let's invite our lucky baby onto the stage." As soon as he said that, the camera quickly passed through the crowd to find who number 166 was. Lin Jiji was stunned. It was Ningxi. Xiao Tao was about to go crazy with joy. "Ah! Brother Shi, you're too awesome. You've been drawn." Her luck was too good tonight. Not only did she see Su Yimo suffer, but she also received such a great benefit. Ningxi raised her eyebrows, but she quickly realized that Lu Jingli must have done something to it. When the camera pointed at Ningxi and the number 166 in her hand, the audience exclaimed in surprise and envy, "Wow, it's actually Ningxi. Although I wasn't chosen, I somehow feel very happy that I got Ningxi. What's going on?" Ha ha ha, of course it's great. Just a while ago, Su Yimo threatened to ban Ningxi. I also think it's good to get Ningxi. Lady Sue's expression is even more interesting now, isn't it? Oh, but I wonder if the boss is satisfied this time? He's not going to change again, is he? Ayaya, it's Ningxi, as expected of someone that I personally headhunted. Her luck is just like mine. Hurry up and come over. Under Lu Jingli's excited invitation, Ningxi adjusted her skirt and walked up to the stage step by step. Su Yimo stared at Ningxi, her nails digging into her palms. How can it be Ningxi? They must have done something. Otherwise, how could it be Ningxi so coincidentally? Liang Biqin was so angry that her face contorted. President Liu will never agree to dance with that vixen. Definitely not. After all, he doesn't even like you. Liang Biqin choked back the words, I don't like it. Under everyone's fervent gazes, Lu Tingxiao suddenly moved on the stage. The man straightened his sleeves and then walked down the stage step by step with his two straight and slender legs, walking straight towards Ningxi's direction. Finally, the two of them stood facing each other, only 2 steps away from each other. Under everyone's breathless gaze, Lu Tingxiao stood in front of the girl and gracefully performed a gentleman's bow, slowly extending a hand toward the girl. She looked at the cold-faced man in a black suit in front of her and was almost dazzled by his beauty. She froze for a moment before coming back to her senses. She gently placed her hand in the man's wide palm. A burst of melodious music rang out. Lu Tingxiao held the girl's hand and walked to the dance floor. He held the girl's hand with one hand and gently hugged the girl's slender waist with the other hand. They swayed gently to the music, Lu Jingli behind him. Fuck, as the host, I even prepared a bunch of lines to liven up the atmosphere. Why did you two just jump on it? End of update. Kiss, don't wait for midnight. Update at 9 a.m. Chapter 1267. Ningxi had thought there would be a lot of interaction with the guests, but to her surprise, Lu Tingxiao held her hand and led her onto the dance floor. Ahem, your brother seems to have something to say. Ningxi glanced at Lu Jingli, who looked sad on the stage. Lu Tingxiao said, Ignore him. Ningxi. Oh, under the huge and resplendent crystal lights on the dance floor, the man was wearing a black formal suit, while the woman was wearing a luxurious retro black dress. The two of them looked like they were wearing a couple's outfit, unexpectedly matching each other. What was even more surprising was that in front of someone like Lu Tingxiao, Ningxi's aura was not the slightest bit weaker. Several female artists gathered together and whispered, probably because the enemy of an enemy was a friend. Although they were all envious, it didn't mean any harm. To be honest, I'm completely convinced by Ningxi's looks. It's a feast of beauties. Oh, I'm so jealous. I want to dance with Boss too. Why can't I be as lucky as Ningxi? One of the actresses, who seemed to be Ningxi's fan, immediately retorted, Ningxi is not that lucky. She was forced to act in a low-budget film by Su Yimo's party. She finally became famous with her own ability, but she was banned by Su Yimo. I think she deserves it. Otherwise, I would have doubted my life if I had to watch Su Yimo win. Finally, Su Yimo is no longer powerful. Another person sighed. Another person looked suspicious. Even if our boss doesn't know what Su Yimo has done, Lu Jingli should know how arrogant Su Yimo is. I don't know why he indulges that woman so much. I guess Second Young Master has a problem with that. Or he wouldn't have poached Ningxi to suppress her. Now it's going to be interesting. Do you think Su Yimo can defeat Ningxi without the halo of Lu Enterprises Group? An older female artist next to them analyzed. Apart from Lu Tingxiao, Su Yimo has a solid foundation in the entertainment circle. I'm afraid it won't be easy for Ningxi to replace her. However, the new generation excels the old. This girl is indeed extraordinary, and now Lu Tingxiao has lifted the ban on her. No one knows what will happen in the future. Su Yimo and Lu Tingxiao's scandal have been clarified, and Lu Tingxiao had personally danced with Ningxi. Needless to say, Ningxi's ban had been lifted. Thus, all the photographers on the scene aimed their cameras at Ningxi. The photographers who had secretly taken a lot of photos of Ningxi on the red carpet were all glad, while those who didn't because they were afraid of Su Yimo regretted their actions and could only rush to take a few more photos. Late at night, in Platinum Palace number 6, the WeChat group kept beeping, but Xianxia ignored them. It was obvious that they were talking about the anniversary celebration of Xianxia Entertainment tonight. The big screen of the game showed a big Jover. Xianxia was so angry that he threw away the game controller and lay on the carpet behind him. The phone next to him was still beeping happily. Finally, Xianxia couldn't help but open the WeChat group. The latest message in the group was that someone had sent a short video. Xianxia casually clicked on it. In the video, in the center of the stage, under the bright lights, Ningxi and Lu Tingxiao were hugging each other and dancing the waltz. The scene was so beautiful that it was like a movie. Xianxia threw his phone away and patted the back of his hand. That's what you get for having such a dirty hand. Damn you. He had been hiding for so long, but it was all for naught. Sorry for being a little late. I set an alarm in the morning, but it was pressed by me. Now I'm writing while the leader is not here. I won't promise a specific update time next time. In case of accidents, I'll make you wait for nothing. Chapter 1268. After the dance, Lu Tingxiao gave a short speech and left the stage to Lu Jingli and Yi Sudong. What's especially worth mentioning is that last month, Dream Seeker exploded. Ningxi can be said to be a well-deserved dark horse in our entertainment industry. When Yi Sudong summarized his work with everyone, he changed his previous cold and indifferent attitude towards Ningxi and specially praised her performance in Dream Seeker. He also said a lot of words of encouragement. His attitude could be said to have changed 180 degrees. If possible, he hoped that Golden Era could produce more artists that were worthy of their attention. Golden Era Entertainment had not been established for long, but it had caught up. The overall level of their artists was very high, and they had produced many outstanding newcomers. Their turnover had always been far ahead of other entertainment companies, even surpassing the veteran entertainment giant Starlight Entertainment. However, they lacked top-notch artists with great influence and reputation. Because Starlight Entertainment had the longest history, they had produced the highly respected and well-known Song Qiuyue, Ding Shan, Lu Yin, and many others. Even though many of them were no longer active in the entertainment industry, they were still firmly engraved on Starlight Entertainment's wall. As for Ning Shuo, Li Leiling, Luo Fan, and other new stars, they were also doing well. Fengxing Entertainment had the Grand Slam Best Actress Song Lin, who had won 12 trophies. They had produced a few Best Actresses. Even the newly established Orange Sky Media had a promising young Best Actress like Meng Shi. Ever since Lung Manyan left Golden Age Entertainment, the majority of a new generation was filled with newbies and starlets. But it was difficult to find an artist who could carry the entire company's reputation. Previously, Bailu had won a few domestic and international awards, but unfortunately, they were all Best Supporting Actress. Yi Sudong actually didn't think she was good-looking. She was too pretty, and it was difficult for her to go the high-end route. Look at the international Best Actress in the entertainment industry. Which of the big shots in Hollywood relied on their looks? It was easier for them to gain recognition in the high-end film industry if they were ugly and ordinary. Beautiful female stars had to pretend to be ugly if they wanted to win an award. It was almost a law in the entertainment industry. Take Su Yimo, for example. She would never star in a film that would affect her image. Her achievements in the entertainment industry were destined to be stagnant. You probably liked Su Yimo because of the name Lu Tingxiao behind her back. Late at night, Lu Tingxiao and Ningxi returned to the Platinum Gold Palace after the celebration ended. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. At the banquet just now, Ningxi was hugged into a warm embrace as soon as she came back. Is Xiao Bao asleep? Yes. Have you dealt with the matters abroad? Ningxi looked at the man's tired face with distress. He came here as soon as he got off the plane. She guessed that he had worked overtime to come back. Yes. Lu Tingxiao didn't know if he heard what she said, or if he heard it but didn't think it through. He was busy kissing her eyes, her lips, at this moment. She didn't have time to change her clothes. She was wearing a strong makeup that gave off the aura of a queen, but when she was in his arms, she looked so cute. She was tickled by his kiss. She chuckled and pushed him. Oh yes, Lu Tingxiao, I wanted to ask you just now. Did you ask Lu Jingli to tamper with the numbers? How'd he change the sign to mine? Or did you do it yourself? The man lowered his eyes and looked at him. No, it's just you. What do you mean? She was confused. Lu Tingxiao said, I got you. Xi's eyes widened. Damn, no way. Really? Really? So you were going to tamper with the numbers, but you got me? Damn, we're so fated. Sweetheart, we're indeed a match made in heaven. Yes. Chapter 1269. Early the next morning, the headlines of all the major entertainment newspapers, magazines, and online media were all about the shocking news that happened at Xianxia Entertainment's anniversary celebration last night. Su Yimo's PR team worked overtime to stop the media from talking, but it was to no avail. Without Lu Tingxiao as her backer, Su Yimo was just an artist in the entertainment industry. No matter how famous an artist was, their life and death were in the hands of the media. What's more, Lu Tingxiao clearly wanted to clarify the situation last night. Naturally, they would compete to follow his wishes. Early in the morning, in the pantry of Lu Group, Ying came a little late today. After putting down her bag, she carried a cup of water to the pantry and heard excited chatter. Why is it so lively today? Seeing Ying, someone immediately pulled her back excitedly and said in a mysterious tone, Director Yi, you don't know yet. Something big happened. What's wrong? What happened? Ying revealed a suspicious look. One of the secretaries said in an explosive tone, Last night, at Xianxia Entertainment's anniversary celebration, our boss announced in public that he has a girlfriend, and they've been dating for a long time, and they're in a stable relationship. What? Yi Ying's hands trembled, and the coffee in her cup shook violently. She said with a face full of doubt, Boss really went public with Su Yimo? Hearing Yi Ying's words, laughter immediately came from the pantry. What? On the contrary, Boss slapped Su Yimo in public, saying that he doesn't even know her, and that his taste isn't that bad. Yi Ying was even more shocked, and it took her a long time to react. What? If it's not Su Yimo, then who is it? I don't know, Boss hit her well, but what we do know is that Boss really dotes on her. He practically stuffed her with dog food last night. Read it yourself. One of the secretaries stuffed a newspaper into Yi Ying's hands. Yi Ying hurriedly put down the coffee in her hand and couldn't wait to flip through it. The media didn't dare to reveal too much information about Lu Tingxiao. They didn't even dare to release a single photo. However, they described the events of last night vividly. It was like writing a novel, full of twists and turns, ups and downs. Who are you? I should know you. Is my taste that bad? These 3 short sentences were enough to imagine how powerful the man was. Fuck. This Su Yimo. She had always treated her like a grandchild, but in the end, she was just a scammer. After reading it, Ying almost vomited blood. At the same time, she was extremely grateful for Lu Jing's reminder that she shouldn't rush to sign the contract with Su Yimo. After putting down the newspaper, Ying strode back to her office in high-heeled shoes. Without saying a word, she called Lin Jiji, Xi's agent. Xi still took up a lot of space in the gossip newspaper, even though Su Yimo had stolen the limelight last night. Although there were no photos in the article, it greatly mentioned that Su Yimo's scheme failed and was rejected by Lu Tingxiao on the spot. Finally, Xi was chosen to dance the opening dance. This dance wasn't just a dance. It also showed Lu Tingxiao's attitude. Hello, is this Xi's agent, Miss Lin? Hello, I'm Yi Ying, the creative director of Lu Enterprises. Recently, the group is going to shoot a commercial and would like to invite Xi to audition. After successfully communicating with Lin Jiji about the audition, Ying felt refreshed. At this moment, her phone suddenly rang. He looked at the caller ID and saw that it was Zhao Wanxin. Chapter 1270. Hello, Director Yi. Miss Zhao, Why are you calling me so early in the morning? It's like this. I want to ask Director Yi, when will we sign the contract with Yimo? And Bichin's commercial. It's been so many days. Shouldn't it be time to sign the contract? Ying sneered when she heard this. This Zhao Anxin actually had the nerve to mention it. She was the creative director of the headquarters of Lu Enterprises. Everyone in the circle treated her with respect, but Zhao Anxin was the only one who bullied her boss. She had made many outrageous requests during their cooperation. Now that she knew Su Yimo wasn't the boss's woman, she didn't have to give her any face. Oh, Miss Zhao, I'm very sorry. The double endorsement fee you proposed before was simply a fantasy. Miss Su's endorsement during this period of time did not have an impact on our products. Therefore, we have already agreed to use other artists. As for Liang Bichin, Miss Zhao, you know very well about the reviews of Liang Bichin's movie on the internet. We spent a lot of money on such an important movie. How can we let a rat's poop spoil the whole pot of porridge? It's better to know one's limits. After holding it in for so long, Ying could finally vent her anger. She didn't give Zhao Anxin any face. On the other end of the phone, Zhao Anxin looked like she was about to explode, but then she realized that things were different now, so she suppressed her anger and said, Director Yi, what do you mean? We've agreed on this from the beginning, and now you're going back on your word? It would have been better if she hadn't mentioned it. The moment she did, Ying was even angrier. Apart from my boss's reputation, you know very well how good your artist is. Lu Corporation isn't a garbage transfer station. After Ying finished speaking, she hung up the phone. In a high-end villa in the capital, Su Yimo, Zhao Anxin, and Liang Bichin didn't sleep the whole night. Since last night, he had been trying to think of a way to get a call, but he still had to watch the situation develop to this point. Zhao Anxin was afraid that something bad would happen, so she called Ying as soon as it was time to go to work, but she didn't expect to get such a reply. She thought she would lose Bichin's commercial, but Su Yimo's contract was gone too. How is it? Su Yimo asked with a dark expression. Zhao Anxin's face darkened. That damned Ying. Not only is Bichin's commercial gone, you can't even sign the contract with EMO. How could this be? Those people are too much. Liang Bichin was exasperated. Su Yimo clenched her fists tightly. In just one night, everything had changed for her. All the people who used to suck up to her were now avoiding her. Ever since she had been made famous, she had been treated with utmost care wherever she went. Now that she had fallen from her pedestal, how could she accept it? However, she had forgotten that all of this should not have belonged to her. Seeing that Su Yimo's face was getting darker and darker, Zhao Anxin pinched her eyebrows and said, Yimo, don't be too sad. Even without Lu Tingxiao, you're still the most popular girl in Xianxia Entertainment. First sister. Su Yimo sneered. First sister? She was a joke in Xianxia Entertainment, in the entire entertainment industry. Zhao Anxin naturally knew how much they would lose without Lu Tingxiao. The competition in the entertainment industry was fierce, and Su Yimo wasn't young anymore. Without someone to back her up, she could easily be replaced. No, it wasn't easy for her to get to where she was today. She couldn't let everything go to waste. Zhao Anxin coughed and softened her tone. She moved closer to Su Yimo and said earnestly, Yimo, you have to look forward. Since things have already turned out like this, the most important thing now is to find a solution. I made an appointment with the boss of Rongxin Real Estate for you. Chapter 1271. However, before Zhao Anxin could finish, Su Yimo flew into a rage. Zhao Anxin, what do you mean? Do you think I'm the same as those prostitutes in the entertainment industry? As soon as Su Yimo said that, Liang Bichin's face darkened. What do you mean by a prostitute? I slept with the director and investors so many times in order to maintain a good relationship with her. Am I the only prostitute in her eyes? Is Su Yimo the only one who is pure and clean? Zhao Anxin was also displeased. She suppressed her emotions and continued to persuade her. Yimo, look at what you're saying. Isn't that how the entertainment industry is? You've been in the entertainment industry for so long. Don't you understand? I've inquired about it just now. That TV commercial has fallen into Ningxi's hands. She may even get the endorsement. Guo Qixing's new film has booked her as the leading actress. If you still don't get over it, you'll be even more humiliated when she tramples on you. Su Yimo bit her lip and said gloomily, "No, I'm not going to be with that disgusting old man." From Lu Tingxiao to Sun Zhanpeng, that perverted man in his 50s, she couldn't accept it. Liang Biqin couldn't help muttering, "Cousin, Lu Tingxiao has cut ties with you in public. Who are you keeping your chastity for? You? How dare you?" Su Yimo slapped her. Even Liang Biqin dared to talk to her like that. Liang Biqin covered her face and yelled, "Did I say anything wrong? Of course you are. Why can't you do what I do? Do you still think you're the high and mighty boss of Lu Enterprises? Lu Tingxiao doesn't like you at all, yet you're still pretending to be virtuous. Do you want us all to die with you?" She had treated her cousin like an empress and behaved in front of her every day. But now she didn't even dare to step out of her house. All the glory and wealth she had dreamed of was gone. "Stop arguing." Zhao Anxin furrowed her brows. "Yimo, Biqin's words aren't very nice, but they are the truth. Mr. Sun's looks aren't as good as Lu Tingxiao's. But how many people in this industry can reach such a position at such a young age like Lu Tingxiao?" Su Yimo's body trembled, and her eyes were bloodshot. She said coldly, "Who said I have to sleep with Sun Zhanping to please him?" "You mean?" Zhao Anxin muttered. "I heard that Sun Zhanping is interested in Ningxi too," Su Yimo said coldly. "I have indeed heard of this. It is said that at the charity dinner last time, Sun Zhanping even fought with a rich man for Ningxi." Thinking of the rich fan who had spent 100 million yuan to please Ningxi, Zhao Anxin felt a little envious. If Su Yimo had Ningxi's looks, it would be impossible for her to get close to any influential officials. Even if she tried to seduce Lu Tingxiao, she had a good chance of winning. Unfortunately, Liang Biqin's attention was also caught by her words. "Cousin, are you saying that we should give Ningxi to Sun Zhanping?" "But Ningxi is very cunning. I haven't heard of her getting close to any rich man after being in this industry for so long. She's probably waiting for the right price to sell herself to a powerful backer. It won't be that easy." However, Zhao Anxin shook her head as her eyes lit up. "That's not necessarily true." Su Yimo's popularity had fallen to rock bottom. Even if she went to Sun Zhanping's door, he might not buy it. Perhaps he might even look down on them. It would be better if she could help Sun Zhanping get Ning. Zhao Anxin's mind began to race. There was a great opportunity. It all depended on whether she could make a comeback or not. Given Su Yimo's current situation, she had to find a backer to stabilize the situation. Chapter 1272. A few days later, at a high-class resort in the imperial capital. That night, Yi Sudong, the vice president of Xianxia Entertainment, personally organized a dinner party and invited various investors and partners to network. During the banquet, several famous artists of the company were invited to accompany them, and Ning, she was one of them. In the past, the artists in the company would fight tooth and nail to show their faces at such an important occasion. So Ning, she definitely wouldn't have the chance to participate. This time, Yi Sudong specially invited Ning Shi, obviously to focus on cultivating her. As for Su Yimo, the matter at the celebration had slightly faded. After thinking about it, Yi Sudong still invited her. After all, so many resources had been invested, this brand couldn't be left to rot. During the dinner, the investors who always talked about Su Yimo in the past all focused on Ning Shi, the stunning newcomer. "I really didn't expect Miss Ning to be even more beautiful in real life than in the movie. I was wondering which family's little star was so amazing, using a small amount to fight a big deal." A small production of tens of thousands of yuan earned a box office of 3 billion yuan. So she's one of Boss Yi's capable generals. Huh, and no wonder our president's son is obsessed with her. Haha, a fair and graceful lady is a gentleman's desire. Sun Zhanping chuckled and rubbed his chin, staring at Ning Shi with a very explicit gaze. According to his usual personality, he would at least take advantage of her, but tonight he was especially polite. However, he couldn't hide the faint anxiety in his eyes. Previously, he had been hinting to Su Yimo that he wanted to have a taste of Lu Tingxiao's woman, but who knew that the bitch was so aloof? Only now did he know that the woman had nothing to do with Lu Tingxiao at all, and he had spent so much money chasing after her. Fortunately, that woman was smart and actually promised to give him a big gift tonight. During this period of time, Isudong had lost a lot of face because of Su Yimo. Now that he saw Ning Shi being praised by all the bosses, he was in a very good mood. Our Ning Shi indeed has a lot of potential. Of course, this is also inseparable from your support. I hope everyone can take care of me in the future. When she had just returned to China, Ning Shi was not very suitable for such occasions. At this moment, she was able to cope with it easily. As Isudong toasted everyone, she spoke very appropriately, which made Isudong even more satisfied. On the other side, Liang Biqin stared at Ning Shi, who had the upper hand. She stabbed the beef on her plate with hatred. Su Yimo's expression was dark, but she didn't show it. Her eyes were filled with cold mockery. When the news of you and that disgusting old man, Sun Zhanping, spreads throughout the entertainment circle tomorrow morning, let's see if you can still be proud of yourself. With such a big piece of news, the gossip about her being embarrassed at the ceremony would be suppressed. I'm going to the bathroom. Ning Shi politely stood up and left her seat. Seeing this, Liang Biqin immediately gave the waiter a look. The waiter nodded, picked up Ning Shi's almost empty glass, and filled it with wine. At the same time, he quietly put the powder in his palm into the glass in the bathroom. Ning Shi's phone rang. It was Lu Tingxiao. The mask on Ning Shi's face was immediately removed, turning into a sweet smile. Hey, is it over? The man's deep voice came from the other end of the phone. Not yet, but it should be soon. At the Dragon Sword Club? Yeah, let me know when it's over. I'm nearby. I'll come find you later. Okay. Chapter 1273. Ning Shi quickly returned to her seat. Seeing Ning Shi sit down, Liang Biqin couldn't help but straighten her back. Even Su Yimo tensed up and secretly looked at Ning Shi. Ning Shi glanced at the glass in front of her that was already full. She picked it up unhurriedly and rubbed it in her palm. However, after waiting for a long time, Ning Shi still didn't drink, which made Liang Biqin and Su Yimo anxious. When Ning Shi was abroad, she hung out with her senior brother and his gang for a long time, and her way of doing things was direct. When she first returned to the country, she couldn't get used to the twists and turns of the entertainment industry, and even fell for their tricks several times. But now, how could she make such a low-level mistake again? The biggest taboo in a dinner or a nightclub or a bar was not to drink anything after you left your seat, because no one knew if you would be tricked. Not to mention that Liang Biqin and Su Yimo were present today. Unless she was stupid, she wouldn't drink it directly. Seeing that Ning Shi didn't move, Su Yimo finally couldn't hold it in anymore. She picked up her glass and stood up. I'm very grateful for everyone's care for me and Xianxia. Let me toast to all of you. I'll toast to all of you too. Liang Biqin also stood up. Seeing that Su Yimo and Liang Biqin had already said so, the other artists naturally stood up and toasted, including Ning Shi. Isudong was quite satisfied that Su Yimo was so sensible all of a sudden. Su Yimo finished her glass in one gulp and glanced at Ning Shi from the corner of her eyes. Ning Shi finally picked up her glass and finished it in one gulp. Then, she picked up a white towel from the side and wiped the corner of her mouth. Su Yimo and Liang Biqin looked at each other and heaved a sigh of relief. However, in reality, Ning Shi didn't even drink the wine. She secretly spat it all out on the white towel. Oh my, everyone, I'm really sorry. I can't hold my liquor, so I'll be going back to my room first. Sun Zhanping had endured for the whole night, and he couldn't wait any longer. He was absent-minded during the entire banquet, and it wasn't even 11 o'clock yet, but he already wanted to end the banquet. After Sun Zhanping left, the remaining people didn't drink much and quickly dispersed. Longyu was a top-notch entertainment club in the capital, but its location was very remote. Isudong had already booked a room for everyone, and everyone would be staying here tonight. After the party, Ningxi sent a text message to Lu Tingxiao and returned to her room. In the dark, Ningxi didn't change her clothes. She leaned on the bed with her head tilted. There was no sleepiness in her eyes, but interest on her face. After lying down for less than a minute, Ningxi heard a rustling sound coming from the door. He really came fast. It was obvious that he had his eyes on her one moment, and then he followed her the next. With a ding sound, the door was directly open from the outside. A burst of heavy and staggering footsteps accompanied by a strong smell of alcohol approached from afar. "Little beauty, have you been waiting for a long time? Don't worry, Big Brother is coming to love you." Sun Jianping smiled obscenely and couldn't wait to pounce on the figure on the bed. In the end, he missed. In the next second, a heart-wrenching pain came from his arm. Sun Jianping let out a howl like a pig being slaughtered, but Ningxi covered his face with a pillow, and he could only let out muffled moans. Outside the door, Liang Biqin, who was leaning against the crack of the door, heard the man's ambiguous moans and immediately became excited. Ningxi, that bitch, was finally finished. Liang Biqin hurriedly called Su Yimo as she listened. "Cousin, it's done. You can inform the media now." 7. As compensation for being late, I'm very sorry. I sincerely apologize to everyone here, although an apology is useless. Because I've been staying up late for a long time, my condition has been getting worse recently. I promised to update later because I wanted some pressure to force myself to change. In the end, I underestimated the power of habit and made everyone wait in vain. I'm sorry again. Chapter 1274. After the phone call, Liang Biqin felt extremely happy. Thinking that Ningxi, the bitch, was pressed under Sun Jianping, the disgusting man, and that her photos in bed would be on the headlines tomorrow morning and her image would be completely ruined, she felt that she had vented her anger. Because of this damned woman, she had been scolded badly during this period of time, and even the advertisement she was about to get was snatched away by her. Liang Biqin put away her phone, hummed a song, and turned to leave. However, as soon as she took a step, she heard the sound of the door opening behind her, and then a strong force came from her arm. Before she could react, she was dragged into the room. Then there was a bang, and the door was slammed shut. Liang Biqin's mind went blank, and it was too late when she reacted. A rough and hot palm hugged her from behind and threw her rudely onto the bed. There was the sound of clothes tearing, and she felt a sharp pain in her lower body. Not only was Ningxi's glass of wine drugged, but they also drugged Sun Jianping's glass of wine, just in case. At this moment, Sun Jianping had completely lost his mind and was madly venting on Liang Biqin's body. Just where did it go wrong? Liang Biqin couldn't even scream. She wanted to resist, but she was slapped hard and fainted. Sun Jianping, on the other hand, was shaking his body tirelessly, biting the woman's body like a beast. Outside the door, Ningxi listened to the man's rough roar from inside the room with a cold expression. He actually had to come and confirm it in person after doing something bad. Then he couldn't blame her for pushing him away. Ningxi went to the front desk to get a new room, and then sent the changed room number to Lu Tingxiao. In a corner not far from the lobby, the waiter who had drugged Ningxi just now looked at Ningxi's back, his face full of surprise and suspicion. Wasn't that Ningxi? Shouldn't she be in the room with Sun Jianping now? Why was she here? After receiving Liang Biqin's call, Su Yimo began to walk back and forth in the room excitedly. Finally, she could finally vent her anger. Have you informed the media? Let them tomorrow morning. No, let them come now. From what Biqin said, that shameless couple has already done it. Coincidentally, the vice president and those bosses are all here tonight. Let them see how slutty that woman is with their own eyes. Su Yimo urged. Zhao Anxin let out a sigh of relief and said with a smile, "Don't worry, I've already informed them. All the media will be here in half an hour." If this kind of thing was exposed, only Ningxi would be doomed eternally. It wouldn't have any impact on Sun Jianping. Instead, It would add a glorious stroke to his history of hunting for women. So, tonight, not only did he please Sun Jianping and destroy Ning Shi, his biggest opponent, but he also got rid of the scandal from before. It was like killing 3 birds with 1 stone. The more Zhao Anxin thought about it, the more excited she became. She waited excitedly and said to Su Yimo in a good mood, "Yimo, thank you for coming up with such a good idea. Why don't we go and watch the fun later?" Su Yimo took a sip of red wine. "Of course I have to take a good look." At the same time, she had already comfortably laid down in another room. It would take a while for Lu Tingxiao to arrive, so she decided to take a comfortable bath first. Just as she was done, the doorbell rang. She put on her bathrobe, dried her hair, and opened the door. At the door, Lu Tingxiao seemed to realize something after receiving the message that she had changed her room number. He looked a little anxious, but as soon as he came over, he saw that she had just taken a bath. His back immediately tensed up. Update 8. Chapter 1275. Seeing Lu Tingxiao standing at the door in a daze, she had to lead him in. "Are you busy tonight?" She asked. "Yes, I have a dinner party." Lu Tingxiao smelled the fresh and pleasant fragrance of the girl after shower. He had an upright expression that said, "I'm here for business, not for my wife." As Lu Tingxiao said, he took the towel from Shi's hand and gently wiped her wet hair. She squinted her eyes like a cat, enjoying his service. "Why did you change the room number?" Lu Tingxiao's cold voice sounded. She smiled coldly. "Because it's too dirty." Then, Shi briefly told Lu Tingxiao what had happened tonight. Lu Tingxiao's face darkened. He had planned to let it go since that woman had saved Xiaobao's life. But now, even if he promised Shi that he wouldn't interfere in her business, he couldn't let it go this time. "Don't be angry. Liang Biqin was talking on the phone at the door when I left, so I pushed her in." Shi said with a sly expression. "Sorry, I'm still angry," Lu Tingxiao said with a straight face. He had made up his mind to do something. At the same time, at the door of Presidential Suite 801, the reporters all came after hearing the news. More and more people gathered at the door, all looking excited. "Is it really Shi?" "It's true. It's an insider who leaked the news." "Holy shit, that's unbelievable. Brother, she is my idol. How could she be with that pervert Sun Jianping? You can't judge a book by its cover. Don't believe what actors say to the public. Just look at Su Yimo." In the corner, Su Yimo and Zhao Anxin exchanged a look when they saw the reporters were almost there. Then they called the waitress and asked her to secretly open the door for the reporters. "Where's Biqin?" Su Yimo had been immersed in the excitement of Shi's misfortune. Then she realized that Liang Biqin had disappeared after making the phone call. "I didn't go back to the room to look for them." "Don't worry about her. She's probably in an investor's room," Zhao Anxin said casually. She guessed that Liang Biqin had also gone to find a backer tonight. After receiving the call, the waitress hurried over. Because she had seen Shi in the lobby, she felt that something was wrong, but she didn't care. Anyway, she was just following orders. She would do whatever the person who paid her told her to do. So, the waiter pretended to persuade the reporters to leave, but took advantage of the chaos to open the door with a beep. The moment the door was pushed open, all the media swarmed in and crazily squeezed in. The scene inside the house did not disappoint them. The room was filled with that kind of sweet smell and the disgusting smell of alcohol, mixed with a bit of the smell of blood. The reporters had already rushed in, but Sun Jianping was still crazily moving on the woman's body. His face was full of ferocious lust, and the woman's face was buried in the quilt. Her body was full of blood and bruises from being bitten. It was a shocking sight. All the reporters were shocked by this scene. When they came back to their senses, they heard the sound of camera flashes one after another. "Help! Help me! Cousin, help me! Xian, help me! Help!" Liang Biqin had already woken up and was shouting. At this time, a reporter finally came back to his senses. This doesn't look like Shi. Huh? Not Shi? Then who is it? At this time, Sun Jianping suddenly changed the position of Liang Biqin, and Liang Biqin's face was suddenly revealed to all the reporters. All the reporters were shocked. Liang Biqin. It's not Ningxi. It's Liang Biqin. Ninth update. You're tuning in to the Eternal Immortal Ballad YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.